All right, welcome to session 30. So previously, you dealt with a Kylon that had infiltrated the city, and if it seemed like it was likely the city guard was involved. You dealt with the West City Guard captain, the Dragonborn Captain Takra Rasgar, who felt dishonored by the lack of trust by the city council and the city lord. Ultimately, you discovered that a secret organization called the Sword of Justice was involved, and that the guard, Delore, was duped. You dealt with the Gara de Sombra delegation masquerading as the Gara de Daga in order to deal with Pico and Oreo for going against the clan. You also discovered that the Gara de Sombra was working with a faction within or related to House Largai, one of the lesser noble houses who had to leave their main Mavin estates to make room for House Morcolt of Murthy and House Ikla of Thomer due to political issues. While following leads that Gimbal gave Ragu to find various magical artifacts and the ability to telepathically speak with Pico in animal form, you came across a secret tunnel where you learned that part of the Grey Cult was meeting. You found an old man in danger due to a cave-in and learned that several of his allies had gone on ahead and had been likely captured by the cultists. The man called himself Jared, who was a part of an organization opposed to the Grey Cult and the Kylon in general. When pressed, he said that his organization works with nobles that think the same way they do. He called them the Restorers. You helped Jared rescue his allies from the cultists, and they gave you some additional information in return. He asked for some information and how to contact you in the future. His, his group was to follow the tracks of the Grey Cult and to find out who they are and who's paying for the operation. You learned about the mounting protests against the exploration of Lumev. You learned that the Nexus Guild suspects that cults are involved, and you have dealt with these cults in the past, so you've been assigned to investigate. You spent a day at the Festival of Games, where you witnessed several attempts to stir up protests and found evidence of possible cult involvement. Ragu and Aiur joined the martial tournament to be held on the 1st as the Raging Aiur. You learned of a possible murder plot somehow involved with the tournament. Today, you join the tournament as participants in the case of Ragu and Aiur and as spectators in the case of everyone else. You learned about two noble houses that are rival teams. House Fairmar, whose team is the Blades of Truth. Their colors are red and light orange, and their symbol is the blade. And House Ratau, their team is the Sapphire Hawk. Their colors are white and blue, and their symbol is the hawk. As we begin, Team Raging Aiur recently beat the Green Hand, and after the Blazing Inferno thoroughly crushed Heron's Tears, the match between the Red Crest duo and the Raging Thunder is about to begin. But before that, way back when you first came back to the city, um, Galen, you and along with everybody else had 2 weeks of downtime. So before we get back to the tournament, we're going to figure out what you did during those 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay, great. So I wanted to spend some time at the church like I normally do. And then I also was thinking of making some cure wounds potions, some healing potions.
Okay. So if you go to the World Anvil page, you can find the downtime activities. I'll link it to you in a second.
I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
I just always forget where the link is in the Roll20 thing.
So it should be in chat now.
Awesome.
And then you can see what it takes to brew potions and about the religious service. So we can start with the brewing potions.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the costs and the amount of time it takes. See the different kinds of potions of healing and the amount of money it takes. But before we get to that, you weren't around to receive your money. So who among you tracked how much Galen should receive?
Well, I might have documented stuff that the party got overall, but I wouldn't have had anything to do with his
Right. No, I
particular
mean,
pattern build.
we can get to that,
Galen and
but
yeah,
first let's just do the overall.
Galen and I are both in the same one, so however much Aiur got is what Galen should have received as well.
Right, but before we do that, let's do the global because that's how much money he has will have an impact on what kind of potions he decides to make.
All right. Hold on. I found that stuff here. I'm gonna have to just do the math first, because because we were is being all piecemealed, so that's how it was written down. But yeah, I'll have it ready in a moment.
Anyway, Galen, you received 500 silvers from the agents of fate
Okay,
for exploring the spire. So you can go ahead and
got
add
it.
that now, and
Yeah, I
then
did.
Pico will give you the group amount once he's done.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So while you're waiting for that, we can leave the potion brewing for last. So we'll start with the religious
And actually,
surface.
I misspoke. I wanted to make scrolls, not brew potions, because I'm not good. I don't have an herbalism kit, but I can make the spell scroll.
Okay. So what kind of spell scroll were you interested? If you scroll down further, you can see the amounts. Some of the
Um,
higher amounts need to be adjusted, but if you wanted to stick to for cantrip or first level, you could probably manage that.
yeah, I just wanted to make a couple, I guess two first level cure wounds.
Okay, that'll work. Just go ahead and pay the cost and add that to your inventory.
Yeah, it's just the 500 that I just got.
Okay.
And then do I have to make a roll for it, or does it just kind of assume that it's done?
I don't think you have to make a roll on that one. I think that's just a matter of gathering the resources and then pushing through it. It's kind of like making potions. If you have the skill, you can just do it.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Okay, so that handles your scroll, and you said you're also going to do religious service.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead and make a religion or a persuasion check.
All right. I should be making a religion check. Ah, it's kind of bad. Oh well. I think
That
that gives
would
me
then
one
be
favor.
your effort. Unfortunately, your efforts fail to make a lasting impression.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so that handles your downtime, but Pico had something he needed as well. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Pico.
what's up, Pico?
So, Galen, I don't know if you've got a little bit of time, but I need a bit of a favor from you. So, I've been trying to track down this cloak, and I've got a lead on it. The problem is that I don't really have not a great negotiator, and you seem to have a way of words. I was wondering if you could go ahead and help me negotiate for this item.
Okay, sure.
And of course, even though I'm totally incompetent about this, allow me to offer my expert guidance.
Oh, wonderful.
So what happened here is Pico tracked down a seller, and he managed to negotiate a place to meet up and a time, and he brought you along as well. And so he is having you do a persuasion check to see what sort of cost this is going to be.
Okay, sure.
So you have advantage.
Awesome.
And a d4 to add to that.
Oh, from the guidance. Right.
Right.
Okay. And let's roll a d4 on top of that. Yeah.
So that looks like a 22, which
Yes, sir.
means it's 50% off the base price.
Woo!
You have
Nice.
fun with that cloak now.
And this was a common or uncommon item?
Common, so basically brings it down to 500 gold, if I remember right.
500.
I mean, silver.
Yes, 500 silver.
Jesus.
Okay, go ahead and add that magic item to your inventory then. All right, I believe that takes care of all the downtime for Galen and Pico. Before we move back to the base game, am I forgetting anything?
Actually, I had one thing. Did we level up during the downtime?
You did.
Yes.
Okay, and
That's
then
what I
I
was
had
going to ask.
talked
Did you
to,
get a
yeah, I
chance?
had talked to Ragu or Tyler about this, and I forgot to run it by you, Jeremy. Would it be okay if, since I'm with the church so much, if I took a level of cleric?
Was it
That's
cleric?
What was it, Tyler? It was like
Warlock, as I
Oh,
recall.
it
it
was the
was warlock.
celestial warlock. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
okay. So that is that your goal? As you're trying to get Celestial Warlock?
Yeah, it was for the some of the healing spells because I wanted to get more healing.
Okay.
And I was
And it would
hoping that like lore wise I could kind of because I know warlocks have to have a patron. I was hoping I could like devote myself to like one of the upper planes healers or something like that. Like the something like that.
Okay. And okay. So you have a contact in the Temple of Gadrak
Yes.
called named Kragar, and he's a half orc. Do you wish to speak to him about this?
Yeah, I'd love to talk to him about this.
Okay, so yeah, you go to talk to Kragar, and um, he, he makes time for you, and he thinks about it for a while, and he says, "Well, it, it is. There's a couple of things that will be interesting here. One is that you may not know this, but being a warlock is actually yeah, it's actually illegal.
Oh,
And the reason it's illegal is because of the danger that people believe that these otherworldly patrons have on the world. However, if you wish, I believe that if your patron is one of the angels of Gadrak, that would not be a danger at all because that by would be by definition good. This is something I can do for you. I can help you with, but if we do so, I may unfortunately have to ask a favor in the future. Are you okay with this?
yeah, I'm fine with that. Like I said, I really want to help people and I really want to heal people, and I think this is the best way for me to do that.
So after your training with your guild, every night you are going to have to spend extra hours with me, and we will I will work with you to contact one of these angels. And once that has been accomplished, assuming that you can convince the angel that you are worth lending his power to, then it will be done.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, so you wind up having to go back every night, and once the during the first night, he brings you into the temple, and there's no one else there. Even the head priest is gone, and and then he goes through a ritual, and the angel appears before you, and the angel says, "Who has summoned me, and for what purpose?"
I have summoned you. I'm Galen. I summoned you to take some of your power to make you my patron so that I may heal all of the people here on this earth and in other worlds more effectively.
And why do you wish to do this?
Because it's what I like doing. I want to help people, and I don't care if helping people is seen negatively by the people around me. I will help people and heal people, and I will do it the best I can.
Okay, you can make a persuasion check or a performance check to see how well you convince them, and you have advantage.
Okay, I'll do persuasion for this one.
But what if he's lying?
I'm not lying, Dave.
All right.
Yeah.
The angel glows and he says, "Then so be it, my child. You shall have my power." And he glows, and then you glow. And the angel vanishes, but you can hear him in your head. But be warned, I am always here, and I'm always watching how you use my power.
Of course.
And then you spend the rest of the week, the evenings, learning the ways of the warlock, and you gain 1 level of celestial warlock.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, and I believe I have your total for the.
You're muted out.
I believe I have your total for the Nexus Guild payment.
Oh, okay. That would be awesome.
Okay, so you can add the following coins to your inventory: 24 platinum,
Holy shit. All right.
21
We did a
gold,
good job.
Um. Okay.
you got the 21 gold?
Mhm.
Okay, 6 silver pieces,
Oh, perfect. That makes me an even 50.
and then a whopping 8 copper pieces.
Ow. All right.
Okay, now the last thing, Galen, is on the last night when after your second week of downtime was over, you you retired to the inn, and after an exhausting day, and you found a letter, and you and Aiur both received one of these letters. And if
Hmm.
you under what looks like the in your journal, what looks like a newspaper icon, and you go to handouts, you should see something that says Kragar Note. So go ahead and open that,
Got it.
and then you can read that. All right. I think that covers everything there. So let me go ahead and switch you to the new map. And I'm assuming this means you're going to be doing your level up now, or have you done it already?
I haven't done it. I'll just be kind of doing it, but it's not a big deal.
Now, we didn't. I don't think you've added your payment for the Pattern Guild, though, right? Because I only gave you the Nexus Guild
That
info.
was the original 500.
Okay, just making sure.
All right. So at this point in time, like I mentioned before, um, Raging Aiur had defeated the Green Hand, and after that, the Blazing Inferno had defeated Heron's Tears in an overwhelming, crushing victory. And was there anything that you guys were doing in the few minutes before the next fight between the Red Crest duo and the Roaring Thunder?
Yeah, I realized that I kind of got lost the last time. I wasn't able to find the
Okay,
lower fighters.
so what I'm going to go ahead and do then is I'm going to go and stack both you and I are up, and I'm going to move your tokens temporarily. And so, obviously, to the north is your room, and to the west is the equipment area. And then if we move, you have the hallway, and as we move north along the hallway, out beyond the top of the map, you have the other expert rooms and you're not allowed to go to the north. However, if you continue, there is a small hallway which you can see going east to north, and then at the other side of that small hallway to the north, outside of the map, are the novice rooms, and the guard is keeping you from going that direction. And then to the south, you can see that there are several additional rooms. You can see the closed wooden doors until we get all the way to the end where you see the guards blocking off the expert area. And so I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and move you back now. Were you able to see all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to get to the novice rooms and start talking to the
Yeah, so at this point in
Dave's
time,
name.
you should be able to control your tokens. So go ahead and move where you want.
Okay. Now, it's been a week, Dave. I had some questions, but I think you wrote them down. I need to try and remember here.
So what you hear as you're coming across is to the north. You can hear the sounds of what sounds like somebody grunting, and you hear the whacking of wood on wood, the shuffling of sand, and to the east you hear that same kind of sound through the store as well. So what do you do?
Um, I'm gonna go to this door. Does it sound like they're fighting?
It sounds like somebody's probably training.
Okay. Are these doors marked? Do I know which one's the
They're just marked as novice. There's no names on
Oh,
there, um, as you would expect, considering.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and knock on the door and poke my head in.
Okay, so you knock on the door and you hear a voice. One moment, please. And someone walks. The sound of the training stops, and someone walks up to the door. And you see two finely dressed gentlemen who have the air of nobility about them. And one of them walks up and bows his head slightly and says, "What can I do for you, sir?"
Hello. My name is Rastiri. I'm another one of the fighters in a different class. I just wanted to come talk with all the rest of my comrades and competitors in this fine tournament of champions.
"I see. And what did you wish to talk about?"
Well, like I said, my name is Siri Bluebird, and I was wondering who you might be, my good warrior companion.
"Well, I am Gerald of the noble house Fairmar.
Fairmar, very noble house, yes.
And
And how come you to the? Oh, go ahead.
so you're just you wish to introduce yourselves to the fighters. Is that it?
Yes, yes, a camaraderie among competitors in a noble tournament.
I see. So, well, I'll help you out a little. If you look to the south, and he points to this door over here. Sorry, that didn't ping.
I
This door over here. He
okay.
says that is another Novus team, and it is called the Chilled Steel. I don't know much about them. Um, Honestly, they're not my main focus. But then, if you look further south, the door next to that is called the Bronze Scales. It is a team that is a bronze dragonborn and a female human, of all things. And then, if you continue to go south, you will come across the door to the. Oh, sorry. You're going to continue to come across the door to House Ratau. And, well,
That's right here.
yeah.
Okay.
And, well, let's just say that they are cheating scum.
Ah, some unpleasantries there. You should never be cheating in such a noble tournament.
It's not cheating in the way you think. Perhaps that is slightly harsh. They are they are children who are incapable of fighting on their own. So instead they get others to fight for them.
Hmm.
That is all I'll say on the matter. But we will defeat them.
Ah, yes, very good. I look forward to your victory. A very entertaining fight it will be.
Indeed. And well, good luck. What team are you on?
We are the Raging Aiur.
Oh, that's interesting. There's the rumor mill going around saying that you are on the Lumev expedition.
Indeed, we are.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I guess it gives you a bit of an advantage.
How? There is no difference in Lumev to Mavin about how strong my arm is. There's no real advantage there.
Oh, not necessarily. I'm not saying you're cheating, but the advantage is that unlike some here, you've seen real danger.
That is not something that is exclusive to Mavin. My original background is a soldier, and I am an old soldier, and I've fought in many battles. There's very real danger and very real mortality to be found anywhere that two people do not get along.
He bows his head. Fair enough, fair enough. Well, is there anything else you wish to speak of?
Well, thank you very much for your time. It was very illuminating, and I appreciate your camaraderie. And I do the warrior's forearm to forearm grab kind of handshake.
And as you do that, he says, "Oh, well, it sounds like it is about time for the next fight. So I will speak to you later." And going back to the arena, you see that there's two more groups coming out, and you see one group is a half elf and a human, and they're both small, and they're both women. And you see another group with two hulking human barbarians, one with a large warhammer and the other with a large two-handed sword. And or you see the person with a stone in his hand walk up and begin speaking once again. Ladies and gentlemen, a battle between the Red Crest duo, a half-elf and human fighter-monk combo. These ladies are fast, agile, and yet hit like boulders. And the roaring thunder, human barbarians that roar as they pummel their opponents into submission. You hear cheers from the audience. When you hear the words roaring thunder, many let out a roar and begin to chant. Roaring thunder, beat them, crush them, roaring thunder. And they keep chanting over and over. And he says, "Are you ready? Begin." And the barbarians immediately approach their smaller prey, eager to get into melee range. As they rage and attempt to strike, however, they find Acrelia parrying, sweeping, and counterattacking. She strikes quickly with her two scimitars while dodging the barbarian's blows. Meanwhile, Marlene the monk uses her small stature to her advantage to get close and rain a flurry of blows upon her opponents. It is not looking good for the roaring thunder. They are being outmaneuvered and are having trouble hitting their smaller opponents. Can they turn it around? The larger of the two barbarians, Smithlard, slams a massive warhammer into Acrelia, knocking her to the ground. Elband, wielding a large two-handed sword, takes advantage of the distraction to strike Marlene in the back, stunning her. And roaring thunder comes back, pounding the opposition into the ground. Is this the end for the Red Crest duo? Acrelia rolls out of the way as Smithlard attempts to stomp her on the head, smoothly jumping to her feet, spinning and striking Smithlard with a quick succession of three scimitar strikes, each strike true, striking Smithlard down with a final blow to the neck. Meanwhile, the monk, not to be outdone, smashes into Elban with a stunning strike, leaving him open and vulnerable. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. One of the barbarians has been brutally felled, while the last can barely stand. Finally, working together to flank their enemy, the duo surround the remaining barbarian, each striking with a flurry of blows, felling him in seconds. And it's over. Red Crest duo, despite an early beating, overwhelms and demolishes their competition. Rarely do we see such a fast and furious action. Only at the Dragon Arena. The winner, Red Crest duo, and then the whole crowd cheers. So as they drag the fighters off the arena floor, does anybody do anything in the few minutes before the next fight?
I guess I can go to the next set of doors.
Okay, no problem. So as you're going through, you hear similar from the door next to you. You can hear fight smashing into the dummy. So what do you do?
I knock on the door.
And you hear a voice. What do you want?
Uh, the door doesn't open just from the other
Yeah, you're
side.
hearing this through the door.
Right. My name is Rasiri Bluebot. I am a fellow competitor. I simply reach for extend my arm for camaraderie and friendship amongst competitors.
You recognize one of the people on the other side. You saw him walking earlier, and you tried to sneak up behind him. And after that failed, he just walked away from you in the past. And so
Okay.
one of them walks up to you and he says, "Oh, is this the one you were talking about?" Yes, the one in the noisy armor. All right. So what is it you wanted again?
I was just wandering around trying to meet everybody in the tournament, camaraderie amongst fellow competitors and warriors. My name is Rasiri Bluebad, as I have said. And who might I have the pleasure of meeting today?
My name is Krenvia. And he points to the other guy and he shakes his head. Well, you'll get my name. As you've probably been told, I assume, we are the Chilled Steel. So,
Eh,
which ranking are you in?
expert.
So perhaps we can learn something from your fights. What team are you?
We are the Raging Aiur.
The Raging Aiur. Can't say I've heard of you, but maybe that'll change. Well, is there anything else, Mr. Razeri?
Um, just to extend my hand in friendship amongst competitors. If there is perhaps a maneuver I might show you if you were liking, you said about learning, I'm always willing to teach the art of war.
Perhaps later. There'll be a break after the next couple of fights. As it is, we don't have very long. Oh, look at that. And then at this point in time, we go back to the arena. But before we do that, is there anybody else, Oreo or Pico or anybody who are doing anything between fights?
Just keep scanning the crowd for anybody suspicious.
Same.
Yeah, same.
Okay. You guys are scanning the crowd. You guys can make perception checks if you wish. Okay. And Galen, I put you on the map. You're next over here. Sorry, not paying again. You're over here next to Devok.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking around, or are you just focusing on your studies?
Yeah, I'll pretty much be focusing on my studies, and then I'll be waiting for the fight to start, because I just
Okay,
want to make sure my friends are okay.
fair enough. All right. So as far as looking at the crowd, Devok and Oreo, you don't really notice much. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. There are some people who are louder than others, and the guy in the back has moved positions, but he's still snoring. Actually, what wound up happening is he was snoring and getting in the way, so somebody actually picked him up and put him in the back next to the wall, and then swapped positions with him, so he could get a better view of the fight. Anyway, Pico, one of the things you notice is that a guard kind of walked by doing a circuit, and he spoke to somebody kind of in this kind of crowd over here. You're not sure what they spoke about exactly. It didn't last very long, but he definitely did say something to some of the to one or more of the spectators.
Where did the guard go?
He just continued looping and went back to the other side, and just kind of just stood there.
I'm gonna try and mentally take note of his face and everything.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so then we go back to the next fight, and so you see that you see two teams come out again, and this time one team has two Sadaga, and these Sadaga have extra long spears, and then you see another team of massive Dragonborn. Next, ladies and gentlemen, is a battle between the Blood of Jastar, a pair of spear-wielding Sudaga contestants, would you believe it, and the Dragon's Maw, massive dragonborn, and also a fighter-monk duo, which seems very popular this year. You hear a mixture of light cheers and booing when the Sudaga are mentioned, followed by loud cheering when the Dragon's Maw is introduced. And then you hear, Dragon's Maw, Dragon's Maw. Are you ready? Begin. And immediately you see the two groups begin to circle each other. The Dragon's Maw clearly has the advantage in power, but the Sudaga are using their long spears to great effect to keep their opponents at a distance. The tension is ramping up as the two teams feel each other out and look for weaknesses. The Sudaga are showing surprising skill at keeping this tough team at bay. Then, as one Sudaga pair strike the monk, then as one, the Sudaga pair strike the monk, dealing a massive amount of damage. Skarko reels back from the blows, and Eric, one of the Dragonborn, quickly strikes at one of the Sudaga, but only connects with a glancing blow. The Blood of Jastar duo are working together to fend off Dragon's Maw. Who would have known they would have such skill? Can the Dragon's Maw bite back? The Dragon's Maw team regroups, outmaneuvering the Blood of Jastar to flank one of the Sudaga. With a concentrated flurry of blows, they manage to strike him down, but not before the monk is stabbed one final time, also going down. What is this? Both teams have lost a member. It is now 1-on-1. Who will be victorious in this savage battle? The final two opponents, both fighters, circle each other. The Sudaga stabs at the Dragonborn, Eric, dealing massive damage. But it isn't enough, as the Dragonborn endures multiple blows long enough to strike down his opponent with 3 quick and powerful sword strikes. It is over. It was a hard, brutal fight, and the Dragon's Maw reigns supreme. The Sudaga, however, did amazingly well. This was a close one. And then the crowd erupts in cheers. Devok, while that's happening, you notice that some of the spectators are kind of glancing in your direction, seeing the Sudaga out there fighting. Do you do anything or say anything?
I'll cheer extra loudly for them.
Okay. And at first, you kind of see people scoffing at you, but as the fight continues, they look. Their respect for you seems to grow as they see how well the Sudaga team is doing.
Nice.
All right. So you know that there's one more fight before the break, based off of the team roster. So is there anything you do in the few minutes before the next fight and then following the break? I guess we can start with Ragu.
I was going to go down and talk to some more people.
Okay.
I take it these guys shut the door then?
Yeah.
When that, okay. Let's see here. And this door down here. Oh, what was the name of these first people again?
Which ones?
These ones.
They were House Fairmar. Fair and Mar. Fairmar.
Okay, Fairmar. And they said that these guys down here were the cheaters, the quote-unquote cheaters, and they said we'll see.
Yeah, and they said they were House for Tau.
Okay.
And
All
then,
right,
yeah, you
I'll shoot
visited
you.
these people here. And then
And I was told the name of these people.
you indeed were. They are the Bronze Scales.
Okay, bronze scales. I'll go talk to them next. All
Okay.
right,
Once you
clank,
knock
clank,
on,
clank. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, once you knock on the door, the it immediately opens, and there's the Dragonborn on the other side, and you can see he's a fairly large copper Dragonborn, clearly a fighter, and he looks directly at you because you're rather tall, and he says, "Welcome, friend. How can I help you?"
My name is Rasiri Bluebird, and I am coming to introduce myself in the olive branch of camaraderie between honorable competitors. And I
Welcome.
hold my hand out.
He shakes it. Welcome,
Good heart.
Razuri. And I believe I've heard of you. You are the Raging Aiur, are you not?
Indeed, I am.
Yes, a most interesting team. It is unfortunate that we are not fighting in your rank.
Yes, well, everyone must begin somewhere, and I'm very sure by next year you will most definitely be in my rank or higher. I
It
can
is my
see
hope. So, you are making rounds, you say?
yes, it is always good in a tournament such as this with such strong competitors and honorable warriors that we should all, even in combat, become friends, yes? That is the essence.
Yes, indeed. Well, I can say that I would recommend that your journey ends here. The those nobles to the that direction. He points toward the south. They are not too welcoming. They wish to keep to themselves, it appears. And between you and me, I'm not even sure they're who they say they are. I mean, no doubt they have the support of the house. I believe that they're here legitimately, but I do not believe they are actually of the house. If you catch my
Uh,
meaning.
Ringers brought in to win, even if they are not quite. I understand. And he pointed this way or
No, he
this
pointed to
way?
the south,
This
down
way.
this way.
Okay, cool. All right, and so everybody, all three of these people think that these people down here are cheaters. Got it. Okay, oh, shit.
Okay, so at this point in time, we will then go back to the last fight. Alrighty. So as you're watching, two more groups come out. This time, you see a pair in heavy armor, both carrying shields and swords. Um, you get almost feeling like they're clones of each other. And then you have a second group of two dwarves in looks like golden armor wielding axes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the final round of the expert round one. It is a battle between the Azure Knights, a pair of heavily armored humans using sword and shield, and the Golden Guardians, axe wielding dwarves resplendent in golden armor. The cheers in the audience seems to be roughly equally split between the two groups. Are you ready? Begin. And the Azure Knights hold up their shields and attempt to circle their opponents, looking for an opening. The dwarves, however, immediately charge their foes. The knights feint and retreat, and the dwarves keep pressing forward. The Azure Knights are on the defensive. The dwarves are using their strength and ferocity to control the battlefield. Can the knights strike back before it's too late? The knights, attempting to turn the tide, begin to press the attack, quickly striking at their foes. Unfortunately, though some of the strikes land, it seems to have little effect on the dwarven pair. Then one of the dwarves gets past the shield, and one of the knights takes a massive blow to the side. The knights attempted to turn the tide, but it doesn't seem to be enough. One of the knights took a massive blow. As the fight continues, the dwarves continue to strike again and again with their heavy axes. First, one of the knights falls, but it doesn't take long before the second to be finished. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The Golden Guardians outlast and outfight their opponents. The Golden Guardians win, and then everybody cheers. After that,
Hooray!
the novice group and the master group then have their initial set of round one matches. The novice group isn't super interesting. I mean, there's some interesting groups, but they're still fairly new. But one of the things that stands out is the two noble houses. They never fight each other, but you can tell that every time they pass by, they sneer at each other, and you hear insults being passed across in a very unnoble fashion. And but ultimately, in the fights, they do well, and they can wind up continuing on to the next stage. And then finally, once all this has happened, it's been quite some time since this began, and the announcer walks up and he says, "That has been quite the fights, but it is now time to take a short break before we continue with round two. So we will be taking a 15-minute break before the next round of fighting begins." So at this point in time, starting with Pico and friends, what do you do?
Well, I'm going to start walking towards Oreo, but I'm also going to kind of pay attention to the group where the guard was talking, see if I notice anything out of the ordinary, especially as I'm going by.
Okay. At this point in time, you can tell that the people kind of in this group, you can tell they seem fairly happy with the fights, or at least everything so far. And maybe this guy and this guy seem to be most happy when they saw the nobles fighting, or sorry, when they saw the nobles in their fights and winning.
Okay.
At any point did throughout all of those rounds did the kid come back with any news? Because I promised him a goal that before the end of the games, if he had any idea of anyone that looked like they were doing trouble or they could be up to no good.
Actually, that's a good question. He would have came by, and he would have told you that he would have pointed up at this group when the guard stopped to talk to them, and you saw that it was this person in particular that the guard was talking to. Um, and you get the impression the kid probably thought the guy was in trouble, although nothing happened. The guard, just after a few seconds, so a few words were passed, the guard continued on his way, and the kid looked puzzled.
Okay, I promised him the gold, so I'll give him the gold and just kind of say thanks a lot, kid. Really helpful.
Okay.
And I assume that Pico at that point would have come by, so I would have given him that little piece of detail and kind of asked if he saw anything since he was closer.
It sounds like your contact might have seen more than I did. The guard might be somebody of interest. I'm going to use no, actually, I just use minor illusion to conjure up a small image of the guy, and it's like, you might want to keep an eye out for this person. I'm trying to be discreet, making sure that my body is blocking that view from anybody really seeing my little illusion.
Right.
But yeah, we might want to look into this guard, and I guess keep an eye on that target your kid identified.
Okay, I want to let's go to the others then and see what they could have seen. So let's make our way over.
And
So that,
Ragu, you were walking around, but you kind of got shuffled back, at least temporarily, to your room when the
Okay.
novices started going out. So that's probably where you are currently.
All right. I will take the opportunity to re-equip.
Okay.
And am I allowed to summon Char? I realize that it might be cheating to use him in the fight, but can I just have his presence, or is that not allowed?
You get the impression that it would probably fail where you are right now.
Okay.
I mean, you weren't told specifically that you couldn't use magic anywhere, but you get the feeling that in those tunnels underneath that it would probably fail.
All right. Well, it's not like it was anything special or spectacular. I just thought it'd be kind of cool if I took a little red chalk powder and put it on Char, and then when we went out for our next fight, there'd be a screeching owl just circling around to really whip up the fight, be all showy and flashy.
Yeah, that would probably be entertaining, but you get the impression that they've been working since whatever disaster happened before to try to minimize the impact of magic.
Okay.
All right, so Pico, Devok, and Oreo and Galen, you're all together. So what are you doing?
what's the crowd doing during this break? Are they like getting snacks somewhere, like kind of as we usually seen in like
Yeah, so
the
it's a
nin-
combination. Some people brought food with them, and they just pull it out and they start eating or drinking or whatever. Some people get up and head for the door, and so they're temporarily allowed out in order to leave for a few minutes to go use the restroom or get food out from outside or whatever. Some people are just sitting back waiting and not really doing much of anything.
What about the guards? Like, are they all by the door, or are they also still intermingled?
The guards, there's two by the door. There seems to always be two by the door. Sometimes they leave, but then they get replaced by other guards. Um, and you don't see any other guards out at the moment, except for perhaps the mages that would probably be still at the bottom of the arena. Although at this point in time, they're kind of just sitting down, relaxing, taking a break.
So, Galen and Devok, did you guys see anything?
Oh, not really.
No, I've been studying, but actually, this is since it's a break right now. I might go and chat with some of the people getting snacks to see if I can find anything.
Well,
You guys think
I'll
that's a
join
good
you.
idea?
I'll come with you.
Okay. Let's see. So this would be. Hold on. So this is the first break. So yeah, that's 1:30. So okay. So yeah, as Galen, you're chatting up people, and you wind up hearing that it sounds like the Golden Guardians dominating the Azure Knights was expected, or at least the group you're listening to. They seem to be happy because they won. They won some sort of bet off the deal, and it's like, yeah, of course they won. It just couldn't have gone any other way, kind of thing. And
Hmm.
Devok, as you're kind of going around listening, um, you hear about the Roaring Thunder getting overpowered by the Red Crest duo is also fairly expected, and the rumor is that the Red Crest duo is one of the favored to go to the end of the tournament.
Oh,
All right, and Oreo and Tico, are you doing the same thing, or are you doing something else?
I'm gonna try and go downstairs or whatever and investigate a bit.
Okay.
Can I join you on that one?
What was that?
Can I join you on that one?
Yeah, I was going that way, then I realized, oh, I'd better give everybody a heads up, so I backed up.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna unstack you guys and then move you because they let you in. So I just need to move you
Oh,
down
I
here.
didn't know that we were allowed down there. Okay, cool. I thought we had to sneak our way through.
All right, so you make your way down. They let you down the stairs, and Pico had already talked to the guards, and they had already had information that there would be people here investigating from the guilds, and so that's why they just let you in. They just told Pico to
Ah,
wait for a break.
got it.
All right, so yeah, you come down, and Ragu and Aiur, you've re-equipped, and so what? Actually, what did you equip with, Ragu?
I gave back the great sword, and I equipped myself with a one-handed battle axe and a hand axe in my offhand, and then I've got two more hand axes on my belt for throwing.
Okay, so you see
Same
that.
armor, same look, just I'll come out with different weapons every fight.
Okay, that's fine.
Actually, on that note, I want to grab some spears also for throwing.
For throwing? Okay.
Just,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just make sure to delete them out of my inventory
Or
when I'm.
javelins. I mean,
yep,
Oh, javelins, good, good, good.
yeah, yeah.
yep. You are allowed throwing weapons. Um, they don't seem to allow crossbows or regular bows, but they do allow muscle missile weapons.
Okay,
Mainly because they feel like crossbows and bows are too dangerous.
I can understand that. That's a completely different tournament. That's the archery, not the fighter.
Fair enough. All right, so you've done that, and Pico and Oreo, you come in, and you can see, you can feel kind of a chill as you descend into the tunnels, and you can see the lieutenant guard in front of you, the same lieutenant you talked to before in the tent, and you can possibly see or hear Ragu and Aiur off this direction. So what do you do?
I'm going to talk to the guard real quick, and I have a question. Who has access to the weapons other than the competitors?
Um, the weapons? You mean the weapons we use for the competitors?
Yes.
Yeah. So generally, us guards do, and the competitors, they have to come and they talk to us, and then we're there when they switch things out. So generally, we don't allow anybody in unsupervised.
Except for the guards, I assume.
Yeah, of course, the guards are allowed in unsupervised, but I meant the competitors aren't allowed in unsupervised.
Hmm.
Have any happened to pass by as soon as the time the midterm or intermission kicked in? The break?
Any guards? No, I haven't seen anybody come down here in a while. Well, no, I take that back. There was a guard who got switched out with another guard, but he didn't do anything with the equipment.
Pico, do you want to
Did
show her the face?
the guard
Um,
look like?
do I hear the voices
You
coming from
do.
down the hall?
Yes.
Okay,
You can come out if you want.
yeah.
Yeah, using a small minor illusion. Did the guard look like this?
That looks familiar. Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
You guys notice Ragu walk up.
Hello.
Hello, my good friends. Miss Security Guard, these are my good friends. Might I take them in and show them my training room?
They are allowed here during the break, so they outside of the restricted areas, of course. So go ahead.
Oh, why, thank you very much. Oh, you were still talking with this young woman. I will let you can finish your conversation. I apologize for interrupting there, my friends.
No worries.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
what weapon did the or weapons did the guards bring out, or did that guard bring out, and who?
He didn't. He just walked by and he just replaced another guard. They do shift changes to make sure all the guards get a break. That's all that happened.
Hmm. And where's the weapon room?
Right behind me.
All right. May we take a look with some specifically with supervision?
Yes. Go ahead and enter.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and try and do a quick check. Oreo, do you want to see if you spot anything unusual with these weapons, or help me rather?
Yeah, probably can help you.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, you're looking around and you see weapons and armor of there's a large variety of weapons. The only thing that's missing are things like crossbows and bows, but there are javelins and knives and all that kind of stuff. But the one thing you notice about the weapons is they're all blunted, and so the tips are blunted or the edges are blunted, what have you. Um,
Although
Go
I
ahead.
will say that, I mean, I'll help him with the search he's got, but afterwards I do want to make a search with Dungeon Dover to see if there's any sneaky spots that things could be stored in.
Okay, you can do that. But okay, so yeah, so you see that. You notice that there is something odd about the weapons when you feel them. It's almost like there's some sort of absence of energy you don't really understand. Um,
I
Ragu,
can,
yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
I kind of whisper to the two of you. I have checked the weapons magically, and they are specifically warded against being able to accept an enchantment of any sort. So they are anti-magic weapons. But other than that, I do not know about poisons or the more mundane ways that this could be, absurd the rules.
Isn't that what Pico here is looking for?
I hope so.
Yeah. Of course, the thing could already given out. I'm gonna just burn a slot for this. I'm gonna just cast detect poison and disease. And does my perception check reveal anything?
Which
Um,
is a 19 total.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
so
will help if I can.
he already has advantage.
Oh,
You also notice the weapon, the armor has more padding. I forgot to mention that part. Um, and then finally, you go to cast your spell, but nothing happens. It's almost as if the energy leaves you as you cast it.
Wait, wouldn't he have sensed that familiar sensation when he first sneaked in here the other night or the previous night? That there was something like anti-magic-y
Yeah,
going
he
on?
did. I did say that, so that's true. You can actually go back because that's true. You already sensed that, so you would know ahead of time that the spell wouldn't work.
Jeremy, just out of curiosity, how did I do it? Did I ritual cast detect magic in my training room and then walk into the weapons room? I'm
Uh,
pretty sure that's how that worked.
the way it worked is I forgot about it, and you did it, and then I remembered later. That's
Oh,
how
so
it
I
works.
shouldn't have been able.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
So
We're
all the
not going
stuff
to
I found out
retcon it.
about.
You know, you saw what you saw, but yeah, it wasn't supposed to work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
Well, if we're talking about detecting an absence of magic, I guess that's something you could kind of feel anyway. So,
Yeah, your arcana probably would be enough for you to realize that. So it's fine.
mhm. All right. So does a 19 field anything?
Nothing additional other than what I already described. No.
All right. Well, I'll help Oreo do her particular brand of checking.
Okay.
Well, actually, maybe you can just guide me with what you know because I already get advantage with Dungeon Dover, thankfully.
All right.
Um,
Well, roll a d4.
so give me a sec.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Go ahead
um,
and roll your d4, and that's a 26. And in the back, in the corner, you do find a secret compartment, and you can tell it's a secret compartment, but it's currently closed. So, do you open it, or what do you do?
search for traps.
Okay, yeah. As part of searching for that, I would say with that kind of roll, you're pretty sure there's no traps.
Okay, well, I tell Pico and Ragu that there's something up over here, but I don't necessarily. I mean, is the guard actually looking at it? Did you say that she should be like supervising us right now?
Yeah, she's currently standing at the door, looking in and watching you guys.
Okay, then
Yeah, I
forget it.
wanted a
So,
witness to make sure that we can't be accused of sabotage if the murder happens anyway.
okay, well, then in that case, I'll let her know that there's something funny going on over here, and then I open it up.
Okay, she walks in, And then you open it up and you find it to be empty, actually. And she looks and she's like, huh, I wonder how long that's been there. She looks inside with you. She's like, well, it doesn't look like there's anything there. But
But it would be interesting if any of the guards did, aside from you.
Just out of curiosity, is there dust in this? Like it, she said, I wonder how long it's been there. Has this secret compartment always been here? And if so, is there like a layer of dust in the compartment? Not like a cleaning lady comes by all the time.
yeah, um, it didn't seem like there was a lot of dust on there. If you go ahead and make a survival check to see if you, or a perception check to see how recently you think it's been used.
Can I try
Uh,
investigation?
Yeah.
I'll help you with that. Oh,
Oh.
allow me to offer some expert guidance.
Oh, yes. And for whatever reason, that rolled at disadvantage when it shouldn't have.
So yeah,
I'm
so
guessing
14.
it's the 8.
Plus 3 would be sorry.
No, no. What I'm saying is it should not have been at disadvantage.
Yeah, so it's the first number.
It would have been
So
the 18 instead of the
21,
14.
second number.
Yeah. Because
Higher than 14.
are you saying it should have been at advantage?
because
Yeah.
Pico was helping
Okay,
him.
Yeah,
you
Pico
said it
just said he
should
was
not have
helping.
been at disadvantage, and so I'm
Yeah.
thinking it's a normal roll, not that it was at advantage.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
No, yeah, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Pico helped for advantage, and then the guidance gave me an extra 3, so
Okay.
that's 21.
Fair enough. Anyway, yeah, there's not a lot of dust around. You get the impression that it might have been accessed today.
Specifically, if there is kind of like a lightest layer of dust, I wonder if there's like an absence of dust, kind of like looking for the shadow or silhouette of where something was set in there and then removed.
Well, it's more like you can't really tell what was removed, but you can tell something was removed today.
Okay. Yeah, that's what. Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Because like if it was in like it looked like a handle and a point, then it could be, oh, it was a dagger sitting in here because there's a absence of dust in the shape of a dagger, so we'd have an idea of what to look for. That's kind of what I was looking for.
even in
But
that
no.
case, I mean, how big is the compartment? That ought to rule out certain types of weapons.
Yeah, how big
Yeah.
is it?
It's probably about a foot by a foot. No, sorry, not a
Okay.
foot by foot. Half a foot by half a foot.
Right, that does rule out most weapons. Is it like a little circle in the middle?
More like
That might have been
a
removed?
square.
Like a little square, like a square
Yeah,
bottle.
like you see these tiles in the ground. More like one of those kind of getting removed, or one of those kind of hollowed out, or so that if you remove it, there's the gap that would be on the inside.
Okay, so basically, it looked like the dust left the slight mark of a square bottle, which means we might very well be dealing with any of these normal weapons that have just been coated in poison.
Good. Okay, I kind of look over to Pico, going back to the guard that he was talking about earlier. This doesn't make sense though. So he pulled the dagger, or not dagger, or the weapon or whatever was always in here, and he just passed it out to somebody randomly out there.
Maybe not
Well,
randomly, if he specifically
Well,
knew who we wanted to have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by random I mean like setting it up from the inside, like it. So the weapon was always in here. Is the thing that makes me kind of very.
somebody snuck something in here, and then one of the competitors had to know about the secret compartment and retrieve it. I'm thinking.
Well, no, the guard just literally said that somebody came in to do change shifts and that they usually come to set weapons, so they have access to this without any supervision. It's very
Yeah.
easy for someone to change guard and come in here casually, knowing what it is that they were looking for. Still doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of like how this all got set up, but if that's the case, then I guess the person we want to keep an eye out is out there.
Oh, and I do
Well-
have some information. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead with your info.
With the lower tournaments, the noble houses, House Fermar and House Rato, are not liking each other at all, but that seems like a standard rivalry. But House Femir, House Rato, and the Bronze Scales all do not like the person at the end of the hall. They say that that particular house has cheated by bringing in ringers that are not actually part of their house, just hired mercenaries to try and fight and win. So all of the lower tournament believe that the one house is bringing in ringers to cheat.
Yeah, the house to the south, from what you understood, was House Ratau.
Oh, Ratal. Okay.
The
House.
guard is listening to all of this. What does she have as a reaction to the information Ragu's saying?
She seems to be kind of confused and has a worried look on her face. She says, "All right, so you think that somebody snuck in a weapon or poison or what have you,
That's
and it
going to
was hidden
actually kill
there,
somebody.
and then you think that a guard came and got that and passed it to somebody. Is that what I'm hearing?"
Well, that's
If
one
not
part of
guard,
it,
the
but
maintenance. Yeah.
the
Sorry, go ahead.
part of
Somebody
the
with
part
access.
right, but the part that I'm more curious about her reaction is what Ragu just specifically said. If there's any validity by her face or expression as to what he's saying, that yeah, that kind of lies for based on what we've been hearing. Like, is there any kind of reaction like that from her based off Ragu's input, what he just shared?
Are you talking about House
The
Ratau?
houses. Yep, the
Okay.
cheaters.
You can make a check on that. Whatchamacallit?
Insight?
Insight, yeah.
Um, I think I might accidentally have it right now on advantage, so just take the first number.
No problem.
Oh, never mind. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's fine. Um, she hears that, and then when he was saying about them bringing in ringers, she was kind of nodding. It was subtle, but she was nodding.
Like she believes it, or she already knew.
Um, you can't really tell. Either way, it's either she's not surprised
Yeah,
or she already knew
that's the
it.
impression I got. Yeah, that's the impression I would have gotten from that.
Are these weapons inventoried?
Yes.
Can we verify what's checked out and
To who?
compare that? Sorry, what was that? Yeah,
No,
and to
along
who?
with it, to who? Yeah.
And verify if there's any, if there's more weapons among the competitors than what's been checked out.
Are you asking if there's at least one weapon per competitor?
No, no, no. We want to see
No,
your catalog of what exactly got it taken
Yeah.
out of this room.
Who
we
took
want to know
what weapon?
who's got what weapon, because if we find somebody with a weapon who's not on that list, then they've got something they shouldn't.
Okay, so you're trying to basically you're trying to get a list of all the weapons for all the competitors based on what they're supposed to have, and then if you see them fighting with a different weapon, you would know that it's something's not right.
Potentially.
Right.
And that's assuming that it wasn't a poison that can coat any of these weapons.
Okay, fair enough. She basically she says,
I believe
"Okay,
there was a
please leave
sign
the
out
room
sheet
for
that
a
I used.
moment, so I can go uh, get the information." And then while she's doing that, she has another guard come down to stand by. She says, "All right, you can stay here. You can check out your friend's room while you're at it, and I will go get your information." All right. So while she's gone, what do you guys do?
Take out Ire before the guard kicks him out.
Yeah, I'm assuming he left.
Well, this is where we get to wait for battle. I can't take them down the hall and around the corner, can I?
She said they're allowed to go anywhere that you're allowed to go.
Oh, okay. I'll take them down here. Oh, oh shoot, it's too late. She left. I figured the guard might be able to help us if she could show you a place where you could cast a spell. Because, I mean, with all the magic, sorry, with all of the magic protections in place, surely there is somewhere down here that you can cast a spell so that the mages who are supposed to be guarding this can do their job properly. I'm wondering if she can show us that place.
All Aiur, you want to chat up that guard over there?
Yeah. And whilst you're chatting him up, I'm kind of whispering to Oreo and Pico about which houses are which, that who don't like each other.
Okay. Anyway, so the way it works is the map to the north continues with hallways, but the areas are restricted and the guards keep you from going that direction. But you are allowed to kind of loop around this direction.
And the room below us, Ragu, is what again?
You go into that for the. Wait a second.
Actually, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go up top and go get
Yeah,
Galen, I
good
guess, most
call.
likely.
Yeah. This this is the anti-room. When you go through this door here, you are in the arena. So we all
All right.
come in
Oh,
here
When I'm
to
getting
go
Galen, do I
straight
feel
out.
like I can cast magic?
When you go up the stairs, you can cast magic.
All right. Well, I'm gonna fire off detect my poison and disease, and I'm gonna bring Galen down and ask him to hang out with the guard, and basically before we go down, let him know the idea is to keep an eye on the guard, but just try to talk to him. Ask him if he's seen anything suspicious.
Okay.
Ragu, can you help me for a second? Well, I mean, I don't really
Of
necessarily need it, but
course.
for the sake of flavor, just help me out. I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the other room, Jeremy, and just check this entire area to see if there's any sneaky spots too.
Yes, I do
Okay.
my best to.
Yep. Go ahead.
I'm gonna roll it twice because I'm not next to my computer, but I'm just gonna say it's twice, so there, the second one, 25.
All right. So, yep, you search the room, and you do indeed find something interesting. You find that beneath the bench, there's definitely something attached beneath the bench. Like it's um, there's like a little secret compartment right there where you can kind of slide things in and out, and there's something shiny in there.
Uh, I'm not gonna touch it, but shit, now we need
I
crap.
that is a good catch. I shall get back here with a witness.
Yeah, but you know what? I need to be out there with you because then they're gonna think that we put it in there. No one was here
Yeah,
with us. Fuck.
guard. Well, just play along. Pretend to find it again. Did that lady come back yet?
Yeah, so
No,
she comes back and she finds you guys and she says, "All right, I have some papers here for you, and I'm assuming they're going to you, Pico."
Sure. Also, while I'm standing in front of the door, now that my spell is active, can I detect any poison in range or
What's
disease?
the range again?
I believe it's 30 feet, but I'll double check.
but it also has to be, it can't be behind full cover, by the way, so you have to be in the certain room
Yeah,
to be able to
you have to
get it
go back
fully.
in there.
But while he's
No, it can
sensing all of
penetrate
that,
barriers. It's blocked by a foot of stone, an inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
But this
However,
place
you
is
do
magic.
notice that your spells are completely blocked by these walls.
Yeah, this whole place is magic against detection.
So it works within the range, but as soon as it hits a wall, that's like a solid barrier that blocks the spell.
All right. Can we open up the room just for a moment? I just want to make sure that there's no poison in there.
Yes, and then the guards kind of switch places. So yeah,
All right.
uh,
Do I feel anything?
you do not see any poison in there.
All right.
but
Well, in
I
that case,
I do stop Pico just briefly and I say, hold on one second. Miss, what's your name again? Sorry.
She looks at you,
We
like,
would like to.
I don't know what your freaking full name is. I'm Oreo. Nice to meet you. What's your name again?
"Oh, I'm Marla."
Marta, nice to meet you. Do you mind if for this investigation, I know there's only a couple minutes left, if you come with us to supervise the entire full investigation, just for the sake of, again, transparency?
Yes, that would be logical. Good thinking. So the switch guards
You're
again.
so smart.
Lead the way.
All right, let's
It's just
go.
up here. Yes.
I'll keep out for them. Just pop into
Maybe.
this room to
Yeah,
double check
well,
it.
Yep.
yeah. So I'll
You don't
I'll
see
follow
anything in there.
Pico's lead a little bit. Yeah, and just
Mhm.
kind of yeah. We're just doing room per room. Nothing
Okay.
Over here.
sketchy there.
Yeah. Just
Hey, okay, let's try this room. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Sure. Oops.
Guess I'm just chatting with the guards. Should I come with you?
Well,
Or should
at
I
this
yeah,
point, you're
yeah.
okay
Just
to come
join us.
along
The
if you
whole
want.
group should
join us?
be.
Okay, I was like,
Also
Mm.
join.
so how
Yeah, I
about
think we've
them
done everything we
thunderclaps?
needed.
Which way did
Uh,
he go? There you are.
go up the hall. Yeah, there you go. So I will again kind of look at Ragu and say, "Can you help me out here?"
And
And
I give her assistance.
Okay.
then I start going as the same kind of pace that I was doing earlier, but then just conveniently stopping by the bench again,
Here,
noticing
Devok, you
where the
trying to
guy.
get down there? Yeah, just sit still
Yeah.
and I'll take you down there.
Okay.
There you go.
Follow the hall and you'll find us. There you go.
Oh.
Hey, Marla, this is really weird. What the hell's this?
So
And they,
basically, you're trying to point this out and pretend like you just found it, right?
yes,
So go ahead
I
and
know
give
I'm doing
me
a terrible job
go
out of
ahead and
We
character,
give
but that is
me
my intention.
a deception test then.
I assist her with trying to help her examine and stuff to make it look good.
Fair enough. So you have advantage.
You got this.
Can someone give me guidance?
Sure.
Thank God. Okay, let's see.
And so that's a 15.
Yep, 15.
And that
Terrible.
is actually good enough. Okay, so
Oh, thank God.
she nods, and you need the DC was 15, so yeah, just barely. She's like, "Oh, that is interesting." She leads down, she pulls it out, and you see this thin dirk. Basically, it's like a dagger, but it's very thin, meant for going between the joints and armor and stabbing into somebody. And
Before you touch it, though, Marla Pico, you want to check that thing out first?
And Pico, you probably would have noticed that your detect poison is going off on the Dirk. Or you would have probably noticed in that general area, and once you pulled it out, you can definitely detect it.
Oh, that is definitely poisoned.
And I'm not sure how your spell shows you poisoned. You can probably describe how that works, but however it works, if there's degrees, this would be like bright eye bleeding red.
There probably is, because here's the description. For the duration, you can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, disease in each case. So not only can I effectively see or sense where it is, I know enough about it to know what it does, how nasty it is.
So
You
what's
can
the impression
basically
you're
say it's
getting then is that this is about as close to non-magical instant death poison as you can get.
Ooh.
Okay, I've got a proposal here. Because we now know this thing is here, but we don't know who the conspirator is. And obviously, whoever's going to use it needs to know. I propose we go ahead and sanitize this thing and leave it to be found. And I kind of feel sorry for Shank, but at least we'd be able to catch the person in the act. Maybe we can sabotage this thing a little bit so it doesn't work as well.
I
Wait
like
a
that
second.
idea.
I have my alchemy kit. I might be able to find an astringent to wash off and sterilize and make sure there's no poison left in or on this dagger. And I might even be able to find some way to mark it. I don't know, maybe some sort of clear powder that when somebody grabs the handle, the powder will be on their skin. To catch them red-handed.
Okay. As far as removing the poison, you can do that without a roll. As far as making a kind of a powder that would stick and stick to their finger, their hand, and all that, I'd have you make an alchemy roll.
I do have a
Okay.
question. Does this dagger look like it would have fit in the hidden compartment?
Probably.
Okay.
Okay, and
Well,
uh, go ahead.
keep in mind, for what it's worth, we see this thing show up on the battlefield, we'll know what's going on.
I thought the idea was to sanitize it, mark it, put it back under there, and
Yeah,
whoever goes to grab it is the culprit, and they'll be caught red-handed when they have a marker on them that they touched the dagger.
that's the
Well, I was
plan.
thinking it might be more interesting if they got caught red-handed when they actually try to assassinate somebody with it.
That's
Well,
what I
yeah,
thought. That's the same thing.
yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah, we're wording it differently, but it's the same plan, Dave.
Yeah, okay, well, here's the thing I'm getting. Well, I've clearly caught the perpetrator by the dust in his hand, and also by the fact that the dagger is still in his hand and he stuck it in somebody.
Okay.
Because finding out the perpetrator is good, finding out who they're targeting might be better.
Okay.
While they are talking about that, I go over to the guard, kind of ask if how many guards are, uh, how many she can get ready in case this actually does appear or when it appears in the field, because we've got
You,
an
she's looking at that.
something.
She's kind of wide-eyed, and she's like, "Don't worry, there will be a massive response. You don't have to worry about that. We will be watching every one of these fights, and as soon as that weapon appears, um, we will be there."
And okay, so since I'm not whipping up the tracing poison, and that's just in case we don't actually get to see it used, did I still need to make a
You don't have to make a
alchemy roll?
roll for the poison. You just had to make a roll for the dusting. So if you're not going to do that, then don't worry about it. It's up to
I'll
you.
do that anyway, just in the off chance that we don't see it or something else happens. It's always good to have a backup if I
Okay,
can
so
get
it's a
some help.
DC 12. That would be your alchemy kit using intelligence.
Okay. If I can get some assistance, my friend.
Uh, are you looking for my expert guidance? That'll help,
Perhaps
I'm sure.
it's
Yeah,
always
I'll
very
help out.
valuable. Alrighty. So help and expert, or just
Yes.
the okay.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Okay, so it's kind of a clear powder. The person won't notice they have it on their hands, but if you use prestidigitation light of a blue color, then it'll make this powder glow bright green, like fluoresce, so we can catch you. You know, like, oh, you're caught.
Okay.
Alrighty. One other thing I'm thinking of is I'm wondering about the construction of this dagger, because what would be interesting to do would be to basically kind of break it in such a way that we can kind of get the blade to stay in the handle. When you try to put any real force into it, basically the blade would just snap off, kind of like turning it into a no-tang weapon.
I see. So let me see. I would
I don't
probably
think that'll
put
be.
that like smithing or what have you, but I don't think anybody has that. So we can just do probably an intelligence just to see if you can figure out how to do that correctly. Unless anybody
Devok,
has a more appropriate skill.
Uh,
Devok, do you have any ideas?
Um, what would be this appropriate skill?
Intelligence.
So if the appropriate skill is if there's a skill I'm not thinking of that exists, like
I see.
Well, you said if there's a skill you're not thinking of, and I couldn't think of anybody in the party who had an appropriate skill. You said in that case it would be an intelligence roll,
that's what I said. Yeah.
and Devok's our most intelligent character.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I can do that in
I will
info.
give you assistance.
Okay,
and
doke.
I will offer my expert guidance.
Cool.
Higher, you're not going to offer yours?
Oh,
You also get to roll a d4
okay.
because of the expert guidance. Okay,
Ooh,
the DC was 15. You managed to beat it, and so yes, you are able to break the weapon so that the blade stays in, but as soon as you put any real pressure, it'll just snap like in one of those weapons that's tested and it just breaks because it's not well made.
Uh, while they're doing that, can I poke over to Ragu for a bit and I say, where are the other fighters? Like,
They are over here. You've been covering all the doors very nicely,
Oops.
but we must now replace the dagger and all leave this room and not speak of it so they do not get the tip off that their plan might have been foiled.
you
And
got
I
what
will
I was
show
trying to say.
everybody. Yeah, I'll show everybody the rest of the fighters
Actually,
right
do
down
we
the pipe.
want to do that part? We might not want them to know that we have any sort of special privileges around here.
And
That's
that's
Oh
my
yeah,
something
point,
for you
Lance.
guys to decide in the future because your 15 minutes is about up. And at this
Yep.
point in time, the lieutenant is shooing all of you back out.
Okay, so
okay.
got the weapon in place. I'm doing one last
Okay.
check. I'm making sure I don't see a speck of poison on this thing.
You do not.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So
Wait for the party and we'll
And you
go out.
said blue light
And
for this
Yeah,
prestidigitation?
yeah. Blue prestidigitation like will make it glow like bright green or yeah, bright phosphorescent something.
All right, I'm going to start getting to be more of a fanboy then.
I'm stacking everybody so I can move you
All
out.
right.
All right. Everybody should be in the arena now. You can move yourselves back to wherever you want to sit.
And all fighters all come in from the same place?
Yes.
That was the north, right?
Yes.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and move back to my original spot here.
Okay. And then Galen, Devok, Oreo, you can move to wherever you want.
Actually, I take that back.
I'm already in my original spot.
Probably
Yeah.
want to be ready to do some cheerleading.
All right. Fair enough.
Let's have some battle!
Alrighty. So at this point in time, the announcer walks back up again and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the break is now ending, and we are about to begin round 2 of the tournament. So first, we will have the expert rank go through their fights. Now, the way the tournament works is that the winners of each group of fights from before will now be paired up to fight once again. And the winners of this round will move on to the semifinals. For the first round, sorry, did you say something?
I was gonna say, did you update your tournament sheet, or we're just saying it?
Actually, you're a good point. Let me go ahead and do that now, real quick.
To see who 9, 10, 11, and 12 are.
Yep. Yeah. So you guys can see. So if you open up the sheet at the top, you should see everything, and I'm about to update it now. And then let's see. So that would be Blazing Inferno, Dragon's Maw, and the Golden Guardians. Oops. Alrighty. So now if you open it up again, I'll share it with everybody. You should be able to scroll down and see the winners from the previous round, and you can see the fights for round 2, and you can see that the Raging Aiur fights the Crushers in the second fight of round 2. All right.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So the first round, you see that the Dungeon Delvers from before and the Steel Serpents from before come out, and the Dungeon Delvers they have their packs on, even though they're clearly empty, and you can see some equipment they're wearing that you might wear in a dungeon, and the Steel Serpents are still using their silvery blades, and the announcer says, and so for round 2, the Steel Serpents And the Dungeon Delvers will once again fight, and they will fight each other until we can see who passes on to the semifinals. Are you ready? Begin. And the Steel Serpents and Dungeon Delvers, then they circle and they strike and parry. And you can tell, though, that the Steel Serpents, despite the skill the Dungeon Delvers have shown before, the Steel Serpents manage to press the attack and to take out the Dungeon Delvers within just a few seconds. And at that point in time, they're taken off the field. And is anybody going to do anything during the few minutes between fights?
Uh,
Uh,
I I only want to keep an eye out on the person that the kid pointed out. Is there anything suspicious out of them as all things are moving along?
No, he seems to be pretty calm, and you can see he's watching the fights. He cheers every once in a while. He has a mug of something that he's drinking, and otherwise he doesn't seem like he's really concerned about anything.
Okay.
All right. So after that happens, Ragu and Aiur, you're kind of shuffled forward, and
Was I able to get Char in there or no?
no, remember you couldn't cast him while you were down there.
Oh, no, he's around. I think he's just outside with the crowd, and well, I'll just have Dave bring him in later.
Okay. Anyway, so they bring you in, and then you see two dwarves enter along, with you. They're in that kind of waiting room where you guys found the weapons, and they just kind of sit down and wait. They look your direction. They don't really say.
Raging Aiur, Raging Aiur. I'm launching some blue prestidigitation fireworks and stuff.
All right. You can hear that, and you can hear probably about a quarter of the crowd actually starts doing that. You notice that the nobles just seem to be sitting there, and some of the crowd just kind of sitting and waiting. But you see about a quarter of the crowd. Chanting "Raging Ire," and a quarter of the crowd is chanting "Crushers, crush them! Crushers, crush them!" and the rest of the crowd is just cheering. And the announcer comes on and says, "And today, ladies and gentlemen, we see the warriors of Lumev who have managed to claw their way from the out of the first round against the Crushers, who are crushing their competition. Who will win? Who can say? Are you ready? Begin." All right, go ahead and roll initiative.
Dang, Ayer. What the happened to you, Ragu?
I really don't know. This is what happened last time. If you don't remember, I don't know why.
All righty.
Ah,
So round one, and Ire, you can see the burly dwarves. You can see that they're wearing one's a paladin, and seems to be wielding a large maul with great weapon fighting, and the other is seems to be a barbarian, and he is wielding a great axe. So what are you going to do?
Hmm. Which one is which?
The paladin is this one, I think. Yes. So this one here is the paladin.
What do I want to go for first? I'm gonna go for the barbarian first.
Okay.
Am I able to squeeze in here?
Yep.
All right. Run up to the barbarian. Swing my flail.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
I shouldn't have advantage here.
But you got a 22, and you hit.
All right, and once more.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Critical hit for
Nice.
15
Raging
points.
Aiur. Raging Aiur.
And you hear this crowd cheer as you smash into the guy. You can see him, kind of step back, and the crowd goes wild. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Fire the hydraulic ram.
The Hydra.
Alrighty, and then the paladin raises his maul, and he says, he yells as he runs over to attack. And I see your positioning, which is excellent, by the way.
There's spots that
Very
also do a
good.
big boom and you have a prestidigitation effect to go with it.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna keep the stuff blue themed for consistency.
Alrighty, so you see him running in with his giant maul, and he's using a two-weapon fighting, which means that he can re-roll 1 or 2 on his damage die, and he hits you twice, or tries to. And why are those blank?
Because he rolled that low, it had to round down.
It says extra attack. Is that, did you just click on the
As
wrong thing?
Galen passes by, I wave before he apparently disappears again.
I'm doing laps.
Let me try that. Oh, I'm rolling the wrong one. That's why. Fair enough. All right. So the first one misses, and the second one hits. Is that correct?
Who in a tie does AC win or does hit win?
Yeah, it's the tie goes to if you meet the AC or higher, then you get
Okay,
it.
then yeah, the second one hits.
All right. So he smashes you into the maul for 8 points of damage, kind of not jostling you around the pillar, and the crowd cheers. Then the barbarian moves, flanking you, giving him advantage as he smashes into you. And he is going to use his 2 attacks with his advantage, and somehow you keep moving out of the way, and he keeps hitting the pillar instead of you, and then the crowd boos. Ragu, you can see that Aiur is being flanked. What are you going to do?
Form the
I'm
flank
going to-
chain.
Yep. I'm going to run right up here.
Yeah.
And I am going to be swinging away with because I switched out to my axes.
Okay.
So, and very appropriate. I'm using axes against dwarves.
Yep. Definitely works.
And I swing hard with this battle axe that's got red chalk powdered all over it.
And you hit.
And I'm going to kind of stack on here. So my first thing is it's going to get 8 damage
Okay.
plus 1d8. Oh, no,
Clang with blue sparks.
Yep.
Another hit. I'll
He
do a
takes
lap.
another 7 damage and needs to make a DC. 1 second. And move that over. DC 15 or be knocked prone.
DC 15 what?
Or be knocked prone. Oh,
What's
DC
that?
15 strength.
Okay.
DC 15 strength check or be knocked prone.
Fair enough.
Or saving
Or
throw,
he'll-
sorry.
Or it makes a mental note that maybe that's how Galen stays so fit.
I think I made it for you. Oops.
No, I'll take the 10. I don't mind.
Okay, here
I've
we
got
go.
some good strength bonuses. So
There you go. All right. Yeah, you
All
do
right.
knock him prone.
I knock him prone. Now, since I only moved 4 hex to get here, I am going to move 1 hex this way. Whoopsh. And since he's prone, I still get advantage
You do.
for my secondary hit,
You do.
which is, here it is. All right. Advantage, yes, and click. 21.
That's a hit.
with my offhand attack, which does 7 damage, and add 1d8 to that. Whoopsh,
I'm
which is
assuming
a
you're
4.
using your superiority die for all
Superiority
this.
dice.
Okay.
Yes. So what happened is I used one superiority die to knock him prone. Then I moved to the side over this way. And then I used a second superiority die to do a pushing attack, which means basically I knocked this dwarf flat on his ass and then punted him like a football 15 feet over there.
Okay. And the crowd cheers, and then you hear, and so the dwarves went in strong, but
Oh, and as the dwarf lands, I use minor illusion to create this loud crashing sound.
But Raging Aiur, they come back and they hit even harder. One of them is on the ground, kicked like a child's ball, and the crowd laughs. And the other is being beaten to a pulp. Can they come
And
back from this humiliation? Let's see.
and I
Round
use
two.
my last hex of movement to place myself there so they can't advantage us.
Fair enough. All right, Aiur, you see the dwarf prone on the ground, and the other dwarf attacking you from the north. What are you going to do?
I'm going to squeeze around the pillar and get on this side of the uh, barbarian and hit him twice again.
Okay. The first one, oh, they one hits, one misses. Okay, so you hit him for another 5 points. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right. So first, first Isu spends half his movement getting up, and so he is now standing. And so at that point, he barely has enough movement. He doesn't have enough movement to reach anybody, so you see him move to the north. And the barbarian, at this point in time, seeing the condition he's in, he rages. And while he's raged, he gets +2 to his damage and resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, which means that those things do half damage. And the next thing he does is he uses his frenzy, gaining an extra melee attack as a bonus action. So he gets 3 attacks. He should not have advantage. However, that's a 25. I think the 20 misses, right? But the 25
Yeah.
hits. All right. So he smashes into you for 12 points of bludgeoning damage as he screams. And then at that point in time, he runs around you to the other side. All right. Ragu, you can see that Aiur received a solid hit, and the dwarves have kind of moved away. So what are you going to do?
Shoot.
And after the dwarf does that, I use minor illusion to do a big boo.
They're going to gang up on you again, Aiur, so I'm going to have to do something oddball. I'm going to run up this way. Oh,
My idea would just
Gotcha.
go for the paladin, but do
All
what
right.
you want.
Okay, I am going to, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and run up here. And as I'm running up there, I chuck one hand axe for my attack and grab my second hand axe because I've got 3 on my belt and chuck that for my second. And so 2 hand axes are going to be flying at him.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's normal.
That hits.
All right. That is 9 slashing damage.
Okay.
And
as that attack goes out, minor illusion of a bullseye with an axe right in the middle.
Alrighty.
and I'm going to.
That was your
By the way,
first
for
one.
me, is there any of the mages around doing anything to when they see all of that go off?
They're watching the fight carefully. They seem to be more or less ignoring what's
Okay.
going on outside. Although you do see one of them kind of looking up annoyed every once in a while, so you suspect that there'll be some words after the fight's over.
Okay.
Anyway, Ragu, you're going to do. You said you're going to do two hand axes, so you only did
Yeah,
one
I
so
was
far.
trying to decide. I was trying to decide whether or not I was going to be wasteful and slap a superiority dice on that axe, but I won't. I'll save my other two dice for a little later. I
Okay.
will just make my second axe attack.
Okay, and that one misses.
Okay.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's movement action bonus. Yep.
All right. So at the end, at that, you hear, and so the dwarves attempt to claw their way back, but Raging Aiur is still in the lead. All right, round three. Aiur, you have.
I throw up a scoreboard that shows dwarf kicks. Raging Ire 1, dwarves 0.
Oh, I thought it was going to be dwarf tossing.
Oh, I thought you kicked them.
Oh yeah, I did. I punted him like a football.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So anyway, Aiur, you can see that um, the dwarf is still raging, which means that you can attack him, but he's resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. So what are you going to do?
Right. Um, for extra attack, am I able to throw twice two javelins, or?
If you have one javelin in each hand. Oh, actually, you get extra attack, right? So can you?
Yeah.
You're saying, oh, can you do that? I'm not sure, but I think that'll work if it's extra attack.
Yeah.
I'll look
Okay.
it up later.
All right. Well, then I'm just gonna. I'll drop my flail, pull out a javelin to throw at him.
One thing to keep in mind is since you have a javelin, oh, and never mind, you're still doing one-handed. Continue. Ignore
Right.
me. Okay,
Oof.
the first one misses.
And pull out a second one.
That one hits. Okay, solid 8 points. And at that point in time, you see the guards come out and they grab him and take him back back in. And
So very
the
nice.
crowd goes wild. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah. Let's see. Wait, no. I'm gonna move around to his backside. Yeah, that's exactly what I said before.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
This is the one time you'll hear Oreo just be like, "Get him!" That's about it.
All right. At this point in time, you see him kind of move, and then you see,
Go ahead and use minor illusion to do war drums.
and he is still in a frenzy. So he's swinging at you 3 times, and failing to hit you all the time, and the crowd is booing. All right, Ragu, the dwarf cannot hit Aiur. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to run right up here, and he's raging. Is that like the reckless thing, or
Yeah.
is that different? That is the reckless thing.
Yeah,
So people have advantage to hit him.
that's correct.
Okay. In that case, yeah, I'll come up here anyway, and yeah, I'll go ahead and hit. First attack. Advantage.
That hits for 11 points.
And then my follow-up.
That hits as well.
So I do a clashing noise, then follow up with an image of two crossing axes.
And he's getting close to where he's going to get pulled, but he's not quite there yet. So
Okay.
we begin round 4, and you hear, and the dwarves are on the ropes. I doubt they'll survive much longer. The crushers are about to get crushed. All right, Aiur, you can tell that he is definitely on the ropes. What are you going to do?
Well, having dropped my flail and stupidly moving away from it, pull out a javelin and just start stabbing him with that instead.
Okay. And I realize I forgot to have his damage, so he actually has more hit points than that.
Ooh, yeah, that is true.
So, all right. So you got a total of what looks like 12. So he takes 6. Okay. So yeah. So he's still in the fight, although he's getting close, and he continues to rage. He screams, and then he continues to hack into Aiur. And he fails
Oh,
to
no.
hit. His rage is just taken over, and he's just swinging wildly, and the crowd boos. All right, what do you do, Ragu?
I've got an image of the dwarf kind of crouched down, obviously weakened. He's going down.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and swing my axe right at him.
Okay,
Come on. Oh, there we go.
and that hits.
Some sort of. And 7.
All right, so that'd be about 3.
And then my hand axe on the other side, upside his metal
Critical.
noggin.
Ooh.
Yep, and this is right upside his metal noggin.
All right, so 11, 5, and it's so close. He has to be 10 or less. Or sorry, he has to be less than 10, and he's exactly at 10. So he's still in there.
Oh, damn it. I thought it would be so cool just clunk him on the head to take him out.
It's almost there, and you hear,
Aiur, you got
and
it.
he's barely standing. He's dizzy, just smashed in the head. Will he have a concussion?
Punch
Aiur, what are
Aiur,
you
just
gonna
punch him.
do?
Just
I actually
punch
can't
him.
hold on. Do I? I don't have brawling. What is the default?
The default is just your roll 20 plus
Strength?
your strength,
Nah,
and you'll
make him
have proficiency because it's an unarmed weapon. So just punch him in the face and knock him out.
make
Yeah.
him make death checks. Hit
Hold
that man.
on. No.
So yeah, normal brawling or it's a D1 plus your strength bonus. So yeah, so strength plus D20 plus strength, and then 1 plus your strength bonus is the damage.
Let me see what else I can do.
And
Yeah,
you
All you have
forget,
to
we're
do is
not
kidnap
talking
and you got
murderers
him
here.
down.
That
You've
would
got
actually
advantage on that.
yeah.
it'd be
Yeah,
pretty
you have
sick if you
advantage to
just
hit.
dropped your
I'm gonna.
weapon
Yeah, I'm
and
exactly.
punched
I'm
him
gonna
in the
drop
face.
my javelin and shield and just punch him in the face.
All right, go for it.
It's like, you're done, dude. Oof.
Put him at.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
And you hit. Can you do at least 2 points of damage?
What'd you say the roll was? A D6 plus my
Yep.
strength?
So
No,
you
just
knock
1
him
point.
out,
Oh, yeah,
and
just-
they come and they grab him. The crowd cheers, and you hear, and that's it, folks. The Raging Aiur once again steamrolls the competition. They will. Looks like they're rising to the top. Will they make it? Will they be able to beat the Dragon's Maw and the duo? Let's find out.
And all the competitors, win or lose, they get a shower of blue sparks as they go through.
And then the combat ends, and Aiur and Ragu, you're basically escorted back down to your room. Your wounds are healed, so you can put yourself back up at max. And at this point in time, Pico, you're standing there, and you feel this presence behind you, but you don't see anybody. And then suddenly you're feeling a tap on your shoulder, and a wizard suddenly pops into existence behind you, and he whispers, "You've had your fun, but we have to keep the magic under control because we don't want people assisting those below. And I realize you weren't doing that, so nobody's in trouble, but we want to keep that limited going forward." And then,
Well,
go ahead.
this may be hard to believe, but this isn't for fun.
Oh, I know it was fun, but if everybody who
I said it wasn't for fun.
Oh, okay. So then he stops talking and says, and then he kind of motions to continue.
Let's see. I'm just going to scrawl a little quick note and hand it to him, and basically, one of the combatants is suspected of something. This is cover for monitoring them.
Okay, he reads that, and then he nods and he says, "Okay, I understand." And
I'll tell you what. I'll tone it down during the fights. What I really need to do is mainly at the beginnings.
okay, you got a deal. And then he vanishes again.
Okay.
No, you should have given it. Oh, never mind. I'll shut up.
All right, so Ragu and you're taken downstairs, and Oreo, you notice that happening because you're watching, and you notice that somebody just suddenly appeared behind Pico, talked to him for a few moments, and then disappeared again.
Mm.
So, do you guys do anything during the few minutes before the next fight?
I don't. I just keep an eye out, see if there's any weird movement from the audience. Keep an eye out on the same figure, and if I see that guard that Pico mentioned a long time ago, keeping an eye on that too.
Okay, fair enough. And going back down to Ragu and Aiur, are you doing anything between fights?
You said I could actually burn a hit dice to recharge stuff.
Yes.
How does that work
Let
again?
me look up the exact rule.
I'm going to get my superiority dice back for the next fight, and I'll be using them more.
Yeah. So view world rules. Okay, during a short rest, you can spend one hit die to gain back a spell slot or a class feature. So you can't do it during the day.
Okay. Is there anything I can do during this short?
You can do a recuperate to spend hit dice on healing, but you don't need to do that because you're getting healed.
Okay, I can't do a recuperate to spend that hit dice on a superiority die.
Right. Yeah, that's just something that you do during a short rest to kind of compensate for the gritty realism.
Okay, but I was going to say, yeah, but I get the superiority. Blah. I get my attack dice back on a short rest anyway, so that doesn't matter. I was wondering if there was any way to reset
Oh,
that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, I would probably allow you to spend one hit die to gain one back, but no
Okay.
more than that.
All right.
Okay, so you're doing that then, because that takes 10 minutes, so you don't have any time between matches. Ire, are you doing anything before we move on?
No.
Okay. All right, so back to the fight after the Raging Aiur defeats the Crushers and crushes them utterly. You see the Blazing Inferno and the Red Crest duo come out once again, and the Blazing Inferno had their armor all, you saw the flames painted in there, and using their blades. And the Red Crest duo, where the two fairly small women, one a warrior and one a monk, and they managed to defeat their foes by sheer speed and agility. And as and so they come on the battlefield, the crowd's cheering, and you hear some of them yelling "Blazing Inferno" and some of them yelling "Red Crest Duo," and you hear, and once again, Blazing Inferno will fight the Red Crest Duo, and you can tell the cheering is louder for the Red Crest Duo.
And as they're coming in, I am doing the big shower of sparks for basically all the combatants. I'll won't do anything special during the fight, but
Okay, so you do so, and you see one of the mages kind of nod a little bit, and then the two sides begin to fight each other. And you notice that the blazing inferno is keeps trying to get a good solid hit off the Red Crest duo, but they keep dodging and moving and striking with a flurry of blows in quick succession. Their motions are more of a blur than normal strikes, and it doesn't take long for the blazing inferno to fall defeated. And you hear, and once again, the Red Crest duo proves that their agility and speed are no are they're no sorry they prove that no one is a match for their agility and speed. The Red Crest duo wins, and then they get escorted away to the cheers of the crowd. You do anything else, Pico?
I'll go ahead and, as a closing thing, kind of do the whole shrouding thing too, and kind of cheer for all the combatants.
All right. And is anybody doing anything between then and the next fight?
Actually, one thing, do I see the wizard that I had talked to before?
Yeah, he's kind of back down in the arena watching the fights.
Ah, shoot. Are there any wizards that are not in the arena? I mean, down in the pit?
Possibly, but you can't see any.
All right. All right, I'll have to give that some thought. I'll worry about that a bit later.
Jeremy, I'm not sure what happened with my icon or what's going on, but I see all black.
Yeah, you are gone. That is weird. Let me put another one in, and if you see yourself later in a different spot, just let me know.
Okay.
I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like it got deleted.
As long as that's not you there.
All right, do you see yourself now, Oreo?
Can you ping me to get me back in the... Now I
about now?
do. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. Anybody
Yeah.
else disappear?
No,
Doesn't
but there appears to be like feet at the top of the screen.
feet. Oh, yes.
There.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's Pico art for you.
Ah, wonderful.
Not the best chalk outline I've ever drawn, but...
Alrighty. Anyway, so the next team comes out. It is once again
Our blue sparks.
the Golden Guardians, which were the dwarves in the golden armor, and the Dragon's Maw, which were the pair of Dragonborn. And as they get ready to fight, you hear, and so the Dragon's Maw, the team that can wither any attack, versus the Golden Guardians, the dwarves that prove that defense is not always a good offense. And are you ready? Begin. And they begin to fight. And it's a tough fight. The Golden Guardians don't give any ground. They constantly push. But you see that the Dragon's Maw, they just seem to be tougher. They seem to be able to wither more attacks and overwhelm their competition with sheer strength. And ultimately, the Dragon's Maw is victorious. And then you hear, the Dragon's Maw has defeated the Golden Guardians, but it was no easy victory. And that will end the expert round 2. The winners of this round will move on to the semifinals. But before that, we have the novice and the expert rounds. And so the novice and expert round 2 competition continues. And you see another 4 fights for each one of those. And you notice in the novices that the 2 noble teams, while they, again, don't fight each other directly, they both win in their respective battles and continue on to the semifinals. And then in the master class, you can see just the best of the best out there. Just a flurry of blows so fast it's hard to even follow what's going on. But ultimately, you don't see any teams that are clearly, you know, clearly the obvious victors. They all seem to be close. And at that point in time, you hear the announcer say, "And it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for another 15-minute break. And then we will begin the semifinal round. And we can see whether your favorites can make it to the championship round." All right. So, does anybody do anything during that 15-minute break?
I'm going to look for an opportunity to talk to the wizards, or failing that, the head guard at least.
Okay, yeah, if you're looking for wizards during the break, some of them kind of come up to the top and walk around visible, and so yeah, you're able to catch one if you're trying to.
All right. Yeah, if I can't get the one that talked to me specifically, I'll try to grab one of the others.
Okay, yeah, you catch one of the wizards.
All right.
Yeah, what can I help you with, sir?
All right. Is there anywhere quiet we can talk for a moment?
Well, we can. Sure, and he takes you basically inside the official area and kind of takes you in the corner and asks the guard to kind of step away for a moment. What can I help you with?
All right. Well, we're also keeping an eye out for problems during the fight, and we believe that one of the competitors is planning some. Actually, this guard here, this isn't somebody I recognize, is it?
No.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, we have reason to believe that somebody's going to be attempting sabotage. We don't know who, so some of what I'm doing is intended to root that out, but I'm trying to just seem like an enthusiastic fan. So my question is, if I do spot the sign that indicates a foul play, do you have a recommendation as far as some sort of discreet signal so you guys know to be extra on guard?
Oh, well, if you have something in particular in mind, we can keep an eye out for it.
I was thinking something auditory. I might just go ahead and um, let's see, maybe like a particularly loud cheer, but something I wouldn't normally say. Um, I'll just shout out the word victory with minor illusion, and that'll be the sign that whoever just came out, you'll probably really need to keep an eye on.
All right. That makes sense. Have you spoken to any of the guards?
We spoke to, I believe, the head guard. That's this lady, right?
No, it's the one downstairs, but it looks similar. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we've spoken to the head guard about this. So she's aware of what's going on, although the my monitoring of the arena is a little bit last minute.
All right. Well, I'll go speak to her, and then depending on how that goes, then I'll go speak to the other mages. And I have no reason to doubt you because it seems like an odd prank. But nevertheless, you know how it is. And assuming everything's makes sense, then we'll move from there.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
All right. So that is Pico. Oreo, Devok, or Galen, are you doing anything?
No,
I'll
I'm
start
not.
away.
Oh God.
I'll
Sorry.
hopefully start later.
Galen, what'd you say?
Devok and I are gonna start a wave.
Okay. You start a wave, and people follow along. All right,
Yay.
Oreo, you can see Galen and Devok has started a wave. What are you doing?
I do not follow the wave. I'm the
What?
one fan in the stands that does not do the wave.
Well,
That is
and the
awful.
sleeping guy doesn't do the wave either. Anyway, do you do anything else, Oreo?
No, just keeping an eye out, so just kind of monitoring if I see the guard or if the individual that was suspicious earlier does anything weird.
Yes, if he doesn't do the wave. That would be pretty suspicious.
Yeah, no, most people do it, but not everybody. Some people are just kind of ignoring things, and or they're getting food, or they're kind of just resting, in between or what have you.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and update the the rankings here, so you guys know what's going on. And so that means the semifinal round. Oh yeah, sorry, I had a. Yep. So the semifinal round is going to see the Steel Serpents versus the Raging Aiur, which will be the first fight, which we'll do shortly. And then the Red Crest duo against the Dragon's Maw. I hate when it does that. Come on, just paste. Thank you. Anyway, if you look in the listing, you can see the setup now. All right, so now after the 15 minutes, you hear the announcer, and so it is now time for the semifinal round. The winner of this round will receive the the winner of this round will receive the silver prize of 250 silvers. The loser of the losers of this round will go on to fight the bronze match with the possibility of winning bronze and 100 silvers. And to begin with, we will see the Steel Serpents, who have fought very viciously today, versus the Raging Aiur, the unexpected upstarts from Lumev, who are crushing their competition. So I'm going to go ahead and move you guys up. And then I am going to move these guys.
Raging Aiur, Raging Aiur, Raging Aiur.
All right, so you see your two combatants in front of you. One is a human fighter with a shield and with a long sword, and the second one appears to be a monk who, a rogue, a human rogue with a short sword, but a lot of tricks. And something tells you that he is actually an assassin. All right, go ahead and roll initiative. All right. That is an interesting set of initiatives. And Ragu does not go at the end. All right.
Okay.
Aiur, you see the human fighter and you see the assassin. It should be clear which is which, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the fighter. Clank, 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 clank.
Hey, you're better built than that.
Okay.
And swing twice at the fighter.
He blocks both of your attacks with his shield, and you miss. Is that the end of your turn?
Oh boy, yes.
All right. Ragu, you see that Aiur could not get through the defenses of the fighter. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna run up here. Yes, to right there, and I'm going to swing away on the fighter. I
All
do
right.
not have advantage.
What weapon are you using?
I have a glaive this time, which is a heavy two-handed reach weapon.
Okay, go for it.
It's got red chalk powder all over it as well.
Fair enough. The first blow, or your blow hits.
Whammo! And come on.
Just barely, but it hit.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you smash him for 10 points of damage.
And
the crowd cheers.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, as I smash into him, I need to move turn order because that's in the way. Okay, there we go. Uh, come on. Ugh, my computer's not cooperating.
It's okay. Just take your time.
All right. Here. Okay, get rid of that.
Oh no, you're defeated by technical difficulties.
Yeah. All right.
That's my job.
He takes another 8 points of damage and needs to make a DC 15 strength check.
Okay. So another 8 points. And then a strength check. Or strength save.
Strength save, sorry, yes.
Yep, no problem. Which he makes.
All right, he does not get knocked on his butt.
But he did take the damage.
Yep, I was going to knock him prone, so Aiur still had advantage.
All right.
And after that swing, I just do a slight turn to take a defensive stance towards this guy.
All right. And the crowd cheers. All right. Then the monk quickly, or sorry, the assassin quickly looks around, and then he moves over. Sorry, he moves over to attack Aiur. And because he is attacking Aiur, if he hits, he gets his sneak attack. Not the skin. All right. All right, but with a 16, he does not hit or get his sneak attack. Oh, Aiur took his turn. So, yep, that's it. That's it for him. And then the fighter then attempts to follow up with his 2 attacks. Both of which are 19s and do not hit. Then he takes his action surge to get 2 more attacks. Both of which hit. And so Aiur takes a total of 23 points of damage. And the crowd cheers. And so the battle begins. At first, the Raging Aiur continues to press hard. But this time, their opposition came in and hit with a decisive blow against the automata. What will happen next? All right, Aiur, the beginning of round 2, you've just been hit hard. What are you going to do?
Oh boy.
Counterattack.
Oh, damn it. Oh, yeah.
I have a question. This is probably a question I should have asked earlier, but well, actually, never mind. I don't think it. I'm just gonna hit. Well, do I want to hit the rogue? No, I hit the fighter.
Okay,
Both of my attacks.
that hits. And that misses. So he takes 11 points of damage. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Fighter?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the blonde's a fighter, the bald guy is a assassin.
Okay, I'd had it in my head that they were in different spots.
All right. All right, Ragu, you see that Aiur was able to land a successful blow to cheers from the crowd, so what are you going to do?
I'm going to run up here and attack the fighter.
Okay. Do you hit?
A punishing maximum. Whoopsh,
So 13 damage. So a mighty blow. The crowd cheers.
and yep, that's it for me right now.
Okay. All right. Then the assassin is going to attempt to attack Aiur once again.
Clink.
with an 18. Not good enough to hit. He just cannot seem to get through.
Clink.
And then the fighter. He spends an action to disengage.
Well, that sets him up for bravery.
And then he moves and then stops. And that's the end of the round. So you hear, and so the Raging Aiur comes back to push the fighter to the brink. And he moves, but he looks like he's running out of steam. All right, Aiur. So the fighter has flanked you at this point. What are you going to do?
I don't like this.
Concentrate fire. I'll be there to help in a second.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can make
all
it.
right. Yeah, I'll hit the fighter twice.
Wait, I mean, okay.
Figuratively.
Just one thing though, I mean, I know that I don't know if your character would think about this or not, but you can hold your action until after Ragu goes if you want to get the advantage. Just FYI.
Oh.
But can he
Yeah.
swing both times with his
It's
extra
his
attack?
holding. He's holding his action. His action is 2 attacks, 2 blows.
Ah,
But
excellent.
he only gets his action or a movement, but no bonus action. That's the
Correct. Yep.
limitation.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'll hold my action
And that'd be interesting to see in action.
until
Okay.
review.
Fair enough. Ragu, go for it.
All right, I run down here. And that incites your action.
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
All right.
One misses, one hits. And he suffers 9 more points of damage. He's still in the fight. Ragu.
I'm going to swing hard.
And you hit. And you do 7 points of damage. And at this point in time, the guards come up and take him off the field, and the crowd is cheering.
Great fighting, Shower of Sparks.
All right, Ragu, that was your first attack. Technically, you still have the rest of your turn, so what are you going to do?
I've only got 2 hex left to movement because I had to move 4, so I'll come right here.
Fair enough. And then the assassin, who's looking really worried at this point in time,
Even though he hasn't been hurt.
is going to... Okay, so here's what he's going to do. He is going to strike at Aiur. And he's going to hit. So, Aiur, you take 8 points of damage. Then, as a bonus action, he's going to use his cunning action to do a disengage. And then, at this point in time, he is going to... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then he moves away. And that was his turn. And then he is gone. And you hear, and the first combatant falls. Raging Aiur continues to rage, and the competition cannot handle it. All right, Aiur, the assassin stabbed you and then ran. What are you going to do?
Charge straight after him. Clank, clank, clank again. And hit him twice.
Okay. And 1 hits. So 5 points. That's the end of your turn?
Yeah.
And then Ragu, the assassin, ran away after attacking Aiur. What are you going to do?
I'm going to run straight over here. And is Aiur close enough for a flank? No.
No.
Because the wall's right here as well.
Yeah, he would have to be right here.
Yeah, your big red circle is just too subtle.
All right. All right. I'm just going to swing
Okay.
hard.
Go for it. That hits.
Okay,
It's
yeah, that
technically a
shouldn't have
19, but that's still a hit.
Yeah, that I was going to say that shouldn't have been advantage. Eh.
Right, you smash him for 5, but it's just a glancing blow. that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right. So at this point in time, he is going to stab Aiur once again. And miss. Then he is going to take, as a bonus action, take his cunning action and take a disengage.
Not this.
Who could have foreseen that?
And
Quick to
then
go.
you hear, and the Raging Aiur has the rogue on the ropes who keeps attacking and fleeing. All right, Aiur, what are you going to do?
Run up behind him yet again.
Okay,
And swing twice.
you hit
Wow.
once
Almost the exact same rolls.
for another 9 points of damage. All right, Ragu, you can see that he's got hit again. What are you going to do?
I'm going to click in there. Run up there and swing hard.
Go for it. You have advantage. And you miss. So that's in your turn.
Yes.
Fair enough. And then once again, he stabs at Aiur, trying to whittle him down, and he manages to hit and do another 10 points of damage. Then takes a bonus action disengage.
Stupid disengage. I have his glaive so I can reach you.
All right, and then you hear, and the assassin continues to poke and weave and run. All right, Aiur, what are you going to do?
Again.
All right,
We
go
go
for it.
again. Oh no.
And you miss completely. The
Oh, no.
crowd boos. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Ragu. He's basically braced against the pillar. What are you going to do?
I'm done with this. I run right over here and I grab the little monkey. Just grapple him and hold him up so that Aiur can punch him like a punching bag.
All right, go ahead and make your athletics check versus his.
All right, I'm still making it an advantage.
Yeah, I guess so. All right,
That's a
since
tie.
you are making the check, the tie goes to you, so you succeed.
Whew.
He is
Woohoo!
grappled. All right, is that the end of your turn?
Can I?
I'm assuming
Can
you
I,
dropped your glaive because that's a two-handed
Yeah.
weapon.
Yeah, I
if you
dropped
have
my
a
glaive,
one-handed
grapple him.
attack, you can still, as a bonus action, you can still use it. But that was your action. But if you have a bonus action thing, you can still do it.
I definitely am. I'm gonna just clock over with. Well, I can use my hand axe or just a punch.
If it's a bonus action attack, if I remember correctly, you have to attack with your primary action. So you'd have to have a bonus action that doesn't have that requirement.
I can't just grab him and start punching him, even if it's an unarmed.
You can in the future, but not on this same turn.
Okay, in that case, yeah, I don't have a good bonus action.
Okay. All right, so he is grappled. So he is going to. He's just going to try to stab you in the face. So, Ragu, with your current armor, does a 15 hit?
Oh, my current armor is an AC 20.
Okay. So, he does not hit. The crowd boos, and you hear, and finally, the rogue is being held like a doll. Will they start just treating him like a sandbag now? All right, Aiur, what are you going to do?
With advantage this time.
Yep.
I want you to
So
imagine
many
the Rocky
clubs.
movies. I'm holding the punching bag and you're punching.
It's like the speed bag thing.
You hit both times. So
Yes.
that is 14. That's not enough, but he is definitely hurt. Oh,
Oh.
actually, that is enough. So they come out. They ask you to let him go. They drag him away. And
Great evasive maneuvers. As I shower him with his
And
big
then you
swipe.
hear, and once again, Raging Aiur wins. Raging Aiur, if they do not win the championship, they will still walk away with money. Raging Aiur has risen from nothing, never having fought in a tournament in Mavin, and completed the semifinals. And they will go on to the championship. And you hear a bunch of cheering from the crowd. And this time, the mages at the bottom, you see them all point their hands up in the air, and you see fireworks pop into the air as the announcement goes.
Nice.
All
All
right,
right.
so I'm going to move you downstairs. All right, and so after that, the novice and the the novice and the master ranks. They have their round as well, and their semifinals. And one of the things that you notice is that the master semifinals go without too much issue. However, when when the Sapphire Hawk team is the Sapphire Hawk team, or the Blades of Truth lost to the Stone Pillars, and you saw that the Sapphire Hawk team at some point appeared to give up in the semifinal round, and it's clear that the reason they gave up is so that they would fight against the Blades of Truth during the bronze match.
Hmm,
All right, so
that's
that
just something to look out for.
so that ends, and then you hear an announcement. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a break for 30 minutes, and while during this break, performers will come to the center of the arena, and then they will perform music and dance for you. And at this point in time, you see some performers start piling out, and you can see that there are several musicians with instruments. You can see that there are dancers, and they start playing music, and you see the dancing, and you see acrobatics and tricks like a circus LA. Um, and so forth. Anyway, so while this is going on, what is everybody doing?
I'm gonna disappear back and find the head guard.
Okay, so they're back downstairs, so I'll take you down
Bring
there.
bring Char with you. He jumps on your shoulder.
Um,
All right.
you know that Char is likely to disappear if he goes under the ground.
Oh, never mind.
All right. Anybody else going with you, Pico?
If they want to, sure. Although this is only gonna should be pretty quick. Oh, actually, well, there's Ragu. Um, Perfect. Okay, glance around if it's just them. All right. If I had to guess, I'm thinking the bronze match is going to be when things are going to go down, if anything. Um,
The lieutenant's nodding, and she says, "Well, once this performance is over, the bronze matches will occur before the championships. As usual, the experts will go first, then the novices, and then the masters. She looks at you, Ragu, and congratulations. So you will not be involved in the bronze match at all. So I'm actually.
oh, you didn't have what it takes to make it there, huh?
I aim higher than bronze. Oh, by the way, here, and I hand you a small pouch of the red chalk powder they've been using to doll up Mayan Ayer's armor, and I say, for the final bout with us, Char knows what to do.
Okay. Um, Anyway, I guess getting back to brass tacks, or tax other materials. Is there any sort of, like, I was noticing the fanfare after the semifinals. Is there any sort of fanfare that'll happen at the beginning of things like the bronze match?
No, there'll be the announcement and then the fight, and then there'll be something similar at the end.
Is it possible for the Wizards to arrange something like that for both the finals and the bronze match?
You mean something happening at the beginning?
Yeah, I'm thinking fireworks, especially blue ones.
Um, if there's a good reason.
It can help root out the conspirator we're looking for.
I believe since the one team gave up their fighting position so that they would purposely come across the other team in the bronze match, might be a very, very interesting place to start.
What I
Why
want
would
to
you
do
give up such a position to take a lower tier match unless you specifically need to fight them, like with a knife?
And I was thinking to do this with the beginning of the finals too, because that way it's happening with more than just one match, and it is the big ones, so a little bit more fanfare would seem to blend in a little better.
Which
And which
that
team was it again? The Steel Truth or the Eagle one? Who forfeited their match so they would fight in a lower tier?
Sapphire Hawk.
The Sapphire Hawk. Okay. Because yeah, they gave up. They purposely lost to go down one, so they're aiming to fight the other team, so that they're directing themselves. That's the most suspicious.
right. And from what you understand, the Sapphire Hawks is the team that belonged to House Fatale. So there you go.
Okay. And those are the ringers.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, got it.
All right. So she says, "All right. So if we do these fireworks, how does that help you fish out the conspirators?"
Oh, I can be showing you. I whipped up something with my alchemy here. It's a light powder. Now we have already found the weapons that was poisoned. And so we had removed all the poison from the weapon, but we left the weapon there so when the assassin, the would-be assassin, tries to take it, he will get this powder all over his hands. And then can I cantrip down here?
No.
Can I ask, can you be cantripping,
Who are you
Mr.
talking
Wizard,
to?
sir?
Oh, the
The
wizard's
wizard
not
who's
here. You're
asking.
talking to the guard. You're
Oh,
asking. Pico is asking the guard to tell the wizards to do that, and she's basically asking why they would want to do that.
oh,
Actually, can I
okay.
borrow that for a moment, Ragu?
Yes, yes. Take some of the powder, and you will see under the blue light of the cantrip spell, it will glow bright green. So it will be like the marking, haha, who has touched the knife.
And she's nodding. It's like, okay, I understand now. I remember now that you mentioned this when we were in the room, but I'm not a wizard. So it kind of went over my head, but I understand now. Okay, I will ask them. I can't guarantee they'll do it, of course, but I will give them the reasoning, and I don't see why they wouldn't. And maybe it'll become the new tradition. Who knows?
Oh, that'd be fun.
All right. Is there anything else you needed?
I don't think so. I think I'll go jump back into the stands. I'll go
In
meet up with the rest of the party and let them know bronze match is probably where things are going to go down.
Okay.
in retrospect, my friend, I should have made the illumination for this powder red instead of blue. It would have matched mine and Ayur's colors.
Maybe that's why you don't want it to be that color. All right. Well, so yep. Uh, Devat Galen. Looks like if anything interesting is going to happen, it's probably going to be the bronze match. Hopefully we don't have to do anything, but just so you know. And I am going. Oops. You get back there. And then I'm going to go ahead and head on over and let Oreo know the same thing.
Oh, hold up. I might not be there. So, Jeremy, a couple questions. One, how much time has passed since the entire tournament has started?
That's a good question. It is currently the performance began at 3:30, and the seating started at 10. The tournament itself started at 11. So there you go.
But since the tournament began to now, how many hours have passed?
So that would be 4.5 hours. From the beginning of the performance, the end of the performance, it'll be 5 hours.
Okay, and the other thing is during this bigger break that we've got, is it common for the people to want to leave these stands completely, like outside of the arena, and come back before the next
Yeah,
big
absolutely.
round?
To go get food or go relieve themselves or what have you.
But I mean, completely leave the arena?
Yeah, because yeah, basically, as you leave, they give you essentially a band to wear, and then you have to come back and you have to be wearing the band, and they'll research you
Okay, so
if they search you at all.
in that case, then I would have, while Pico would have been down there, I would have gone over to Galen and Devok to let them know that I'll be right back. I'm gonna check up on something, and then I
Okay.
go to the markets to see if I can find Toulouse.
Okay. Yeah, you find her. She's there.
Kind of ask for a bit of a follow-up, so I say, well, I gesture in thieves' can't if she's heard any news.
She nods affirmative.
Can
So
she can and I give her the can you give me the information now because that might be pretty imperative to how we're gonna move right after the events of the arena.
yep, I will post that information for you right now. Assuming I find your name. There it is. No, not as Oreo. Come on, /W. There it is. Okay, /W. And then there you go. So you should have some whispered messages, and that was what she was able to let you know.
I say thank you so much, and I owe you a favor for this afterwards. We need to catch up eventually more with time, but this is amazing. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, if I could help more, I would. But yes, let's catch up later. I don't want to keep you from getting back in there in time. They do close the doors after the break's over.
I bolt, making sure that I make it in time.
So, Pico, as you're going past, you notice that Oreo isn't actually there. I'll move her token temporarily as you're going by. But Devok and
I,
Galen, did you say anything to Pico as he was going by?
I
Uh,
did specifically talk to them, so.
yeah.
and I tell the guys where I was going.
So, did you guys tell him?
What? Wait.
Did you guys tell me that Oreo went to go do something?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Well, if she passes by, let her know the bronze match is probably when things are going to get exciting. I'm going to go back.
Okay. Sure.
All right. So, Oreo, you wind up rushing back in as they're closing the doors, and then you go back up. And Devok and Galen, do you say anything to Oreo if she's going by?
Yes.
What do you say?
Uh, that the bronze match is where the interesting things might happen.
Got it. Good to know. Thank you.
No problem.
And during the break, I also give Char the red bag of chalk. Like, I guess you know what to do with this.
Fair enough.
And you're just gonna have to help her.
Mhm.
I didn't get any of that.
Was that an encoded message for Aiur?
Go ahead and try again, Tyler.
I'm sorry, I said you're gonna have to help her open the bag so that she can, carry it and move it down like a smoke stream. Big chalk powder cloud.
All right, well, I loosen the opening in the bag first.
Okay. So the bird takes it, and we'll find out what the bat bird does with it once it's time for Tyler's match. All right. So after the performance is done, the people in the stands they clap and cheer, and then the performers leave. Ragu, from your room, you can kind of see them pass by, and then you can see them kind of going up the stairs and leaving the facility. And then you hear the announcer. It's like, and it is time, ladies and gentlemen, before moving on to the championship round, we will have the bronze match to determine who the bronze winners will be today. And we will begin with the experts, the expert rank. And for them, the bronze match will be, the Red Crest Duo versus the Crushers. Versus the. Is it the Crushers? Sorry about that. Yes. Okay. So at this point in time, you see the duo come out. You see
And I do my sparks.
the Crushers come out as well, and they're wielding their large hammer and their large axe, and you can see that once they start fighting, that things continue to go as they go on most of this match. And the Red Crest duo outmaneuvers the Crushers, and their speed and agility allow them to defeat them fairly quickly. And it was only the Dragon's Maw that was able to bring them down. And then you hear, and so we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Red Crest duo, the favored to win the championship. They won the bronze match. And then you hear a bunch of cheering. And so they will win 100 silvers as the prize. And then afterward, the novice match is about to begin. And you can see the two noble teams come out, and you can see that they jeer at each other, and it's like, and for the we have a special bronze match for you today. We will have the Sapphire Hawks versus the Blades of Truth, and you hear cheering. And we'll see which noble house can come on top today. And then the two can start to fight. But something in.
Oh, I could have done my blue sparks thing.
Okay, yeah, the sparks went out, and you can see that out of the Sapphire Hawks, one of them has green glowing hands, and you can see that you can hear one of the mages yell out, "Wait!" And then you see guards start spilling out, and as they're spilling out, you see one of the Sapphire Hawks pull out a small dirk and attempt to stab at the other team. But as he's as he's going through this process, suddenly he's being tackled by guards, and you can hear voices coming from underneath one of the shelters. "What's going on? Why are you manhandling our team?" And then you hear another, "Wait, look at the weapon. Look at his hand. What's going on?" And then you see a guard run up to the announcer and whisper something. And the announcer looks confused at first, and then he looks and is like, "Hold on, everyone. We have a crime that is attempted to be committed. One member of the House Ratau team, a person by the name of Darag, he has somehow managed to smuggle in a poisoned weapon, but it has been made safe, and he attempted to use it to murder a member of House Fairmar." And you're saying, "No, what are you talking about? No!" And it says, "Quiet!" And the guards start taking away the House Ratau people. And you notice that, Pico, that one of the guards is passing by. You can see that dangling on his side is a disc that has that same symbol as that guild disc you found earlier. And he passes by along with a bunch of other guards with the guy in chains, and he says, "At House Ritau, by this treasonous act, they forfeit the right to compete, and as such, the Blades of Truth are victorious and are the winners of the bronze match. As for the crime attempted to be committed today, they, we will deal with them harshly, and he will be imprisoned, and we will be investigating House Ritau and for their part in this."
Oh, I'll let you finish your monologue.
And then it says, "But we will deal with the criminal activity behind the scenes. We will continue with the master rank bronze match and the championship rounds. Do not fear, citizens. You are safe. The guards will keep you safe, and this was never aimed at you. This appears to be one house against another." All right, while this is going on, what are you guys doing?
Well, I'm going to try and follow along because I need to get somebody to, I got to find the head guard or maybe one of the wizards and get some attention on that one guard.
Okay, so you're coming around and you see, you're coming around and you see the lieutenant kind of rushing up. And you see her appear in the doorway as you're coming around. Never mind that they look like identical twins. And she says, "Ah, there you are. I was looking for you to congratulate you on a job well done."
Well, it's only half done. There's another guard. Or I think one of the other conspirators is one of the guards, and he's got a thing that looks like this. And I go ahead and use prestidigitation to create a little this symbol thingy. It's hanging right on him.
Yeah, the
Okay.
medallion.
So, oh crap. All right. Here. Let me take care of this, and then she just starts running off. So what do you do?
I guess I'll pop it. I guess maybe I'll follow along to make sure everything's okay.
Okay. I'm just moving it down.
Yeah.
All right. So you follow her along, and she's running, and she says, "You two, stay there." And then she moves past, and then you see as she's approaching the guards, you see several guards, and they have Durag in tow, and you see one of the guards. We'll say this one. He has he is the one with the bronze, or sorry, with the disc hanging off of him. So what do you do?
I'm gonna go ahead and kind of gesture to that one or to the thing.
All right, so she stops and she says, "You there, stop where you are." And he stops. And
You're not authorized in this area.
And he says, "What, Lieutenant? We have a prisoner. We have to escort them out of here so we can question him." And then she says, "They have to escort him out of here so they can question him. You are coming with me. Pardon me." And she moves past you, and he's like, "What's the meaning of this?" "We have some suspicions, and I need to question you." And then while she's doing this, she starts yelling for guards, and then several more show up. "Apprehend this man!" And they go and they grab him. It's like, and he looks at her and she says, you will suffer for doing this." And they take him away. And in the meantime, she looks back at you and she says, "I'm sorry you had to see that."
Nothing like practically confessing that he's the conspirator.
What is this world coming to? Well, I won't keep you here, but one thing we will do is once this tournament is over, There'll be a ceremony at the end where they'll announce all the winners and they'll give all the prizes. Once that is over, please come back and see me, and we will make sure you're properly rewarded for your actions here today.
All right, although we may have to make it quick because it's not the end of all this conspiracy nonsense. We're trying to track the people down after the fight, so we won't have much time.
Okay, well, you got it. So she stands back over there, and she has you go back upstairs. And while this is all going on, the the bronze match for the master rank occurs while Pico is downstairs, and then it finally finishes. And then you hear, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we have one last 10-minute break before we have the final championship rounds. So I will see you then. All right, so what does everybody do during the 10-minute break?
I would like to very subtly make my way over through this crowd, specifically around the individual that I was kind of, because it's more of just precaution. I just want to see around his person if there's anything of familiarity to me, like the symbol on the medallion or anything else.
You don't see anything like that. However, go ahead and make a insight check.
Okay, wait a sec. Sorry, for some reason I didn't have my character sheet open. Give me a
Yeah,
sec.
no problem. So one thing you notice is he looks disappointed. And granted, you're not sure if he could be disappointed because there's crime afoot. He could be disappointed because the teams he wanted to win didn't win. But you do notice that he looks disappointed, and before the bronze matches, he looked content.
Okay, but nothing noticeable, any markers, nothing like that I could see based off the little kind of just swing by around him that I made.
No, he seems to be wearing pretty normal clothing. Nothing really that stands out.
Okay, then I'll just go back to my spot eventually. But yeah, that'll be it for me.
Well, I'm gonna go look for Oreo.
Okay.
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Well, first, let me congratulate you for saving the day, and second off, presenting that ring from before. Is there anybody suspicious that you think might need to be carrying this?
The ring?
Yeah, remember your ring of like tracking?
I don't have it attuned though, and that thing needs a full hour to be attuned to it.
But wait, isn't
You have to be attuned to it, and then whoever's attuned to it can then track where the whereabouts of that ring at any point.
yeah,
But
you were attuned to it. You gave it to me to track me.
yeah, but I unattuned it because I got a new fancy boot.
Oh, okay, never mind. Good point.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Sorry. Shoot. Okay, well, that's not going to work then. At least not in the time frame. Okay.
Which,
All
by the
right.
way, give me the goddamn ring back. I take it.
Well, I was kind of doing that anyway. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to go ahead and move back to my seat.
Well,
Okay.
before you do that, I will let you know now that you're here. I've figured out, or at least know the locations that, at least the location that we want to be in for that one letter with the shield. And it's very southwest, pretty much close to where the guild is, or about as close to the guild is. At least that's where I checked for the map.
All
And
right.
then,
Oh, no.
but
go
here's the
ahead.
thing though, the medallion that I've got, the symbol on it, that particular shop is a forgers guild that is up in the northeast, closer to where the gate is almost. The first gate that we ever passed through. So I don't know in the order of priorities what's going to be key here, but we have to remember we also need to meet Jared the same night
Right.
at some
So we
point.
should have
So
more room for that. Another minor complication is the head guard wants to talk to us after all this. So obviously that's going to interfere with things. So we might have a
well,
few minutes while
can
Iron.
can't after this mean like the next day after, not the same day after?
Possibly. I mean, we'll probably have a few minutes while Ire and Ragu, you know, recover from the end of the match. So we'll figure out what makes the most sense then.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and walk by. As I go past that guy, does he seem to take any unusual interest in me?
No.
Okay. I'm going to start, this time I'm going to start sitting more in the, well, see if I can get a better view in the bleachers. Actually, what is the guy wearing?
This guy down here.
Yeah.
Um, a tunic, breeches. Is kind of a brownish brown color. It's pretty standard, normal clothing.
Hmm.
He doesn't seem to have any weapons on him or anything of that nature.
No headgear?
Nope.
All right. I'll just, yeah, I'll just stay here for the time being.
I mean, it's possible he's hiding a dagger in his boots, but otherwise, yeah, you don't see anything.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for that kind of thing. Just having an idea to try to mark him and just getting an idea of what my options were.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So at that point in time, everybody has their break. The 10-minute break ends, and then you hear, and it is at last it is time for the championship round. And to begin with, it will begin once again with the Raging Aiur. But this time, will they meet their match in the Dragon's Maw? Let's find out. And you guys see two very large dragonborn step forward. And as you're probably used to by now, one of them is the dragonborn monk, and one of them, the redder one is, and one of them is a dragonborn fighter. And you can see that you can tell just by looking at them that they're both rather tough and well armored, and you saw them fight before. They were vicious and mean. So let's see how it goes. So roll initiative.
You hear or you go kick their ass. Oh
Okay.
come on, Ire.
All right, so we begin round one, and you hear, and so, ladies and gentlemen, will the dragon's maw be able to bite the head off the Raging Aiur, or will the Raging Aiur continue to rage to victory? Let's find out. All right, Ragu.
As the announcer finishes and the fight's about to start, there's this great screeching and cawing as Char goes flying around the whole arena, over the crowd and over everybody else, and he is just completely covered thickly in red chalk powder. So every time he flaps his wings, just as he's flying, he's leaving this big stream of red behind him, and he looks like he's an owl, but he almost looks like one of the Red Hawks from Lumev. And he's just going around screeching, riling up, big poofs of chalk powder smoke.
And the crowd cheers as that mixes with the magical fireworks that Pico had arranged. Alrighty, so as the fight begins, you can see that the reddish dragonborn is the monk, and the other one is the fighter. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to go ahead and bolt. We are going to run straight forward, just full clip, chunk, 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 big, huge football player in heavy armor running right at him to attack.
Go for it.
I do not have advantage, and I re-equipped. So I swing away. I've got 2 hand axes on either hip for throwing, and I'm holding 2 rapiers, one in each hand. I had to pick rapiers because they're light enough that I can dual wield. So again,
Rapiers are not light weapons. They are um, finesse. So unless you have dual weapon wielding as a feat, you cannot dual wield them.
in that case, I did not grab rapiers. My fault.
No problem.
It's a long sword, and I will use my falchion as a long sword. They're exactly the same.
Okay, you can't dual wield long swords either.
No, I only have one.
Okay, fair
Then the
enough.
other
Go
one
ahead.
will just have to be a hand axe then.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, normal and one-handed swing.
And you hit.
All right.
Okay, 7 points of damage.
And my bonus action is the hand axe swinging up for my offhand attack.
Okay. And that does not hit. It bounces off his armor.
All right.
Is that the end of your turn?
That's what I got for now.
Fair enough.
Thought it'd be better, but
And the fighter looks at you, and you can see smoke coming out of his nose. And he takes his 2 scimitars, and he quickly strikes at you with his 2 regular attacks. Dang it! I have these set up like that. 2 regular attacks, and then his offhand attack, which he has 2 weapon fighting, which means that he gets his bonus. However, only one of those hits you. So you take.
can I go ahead and do my arcane deflection, or have I been warned against it?
No, you were allowed to do it. So does that make the 22 miss?
That just makes a 22 miss.
Fair enough. So it bounces off the deflection. All right. Aiur, you can see that Ragu has engaged the fighter. What are you going to do?
Clank, clank, clank. Can't quite get around him, but actually, I'm gonna go right. Here, hold on.
All right. So what are you doing?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm just deciding where to move. And then I'm gonna hit him twice.
Yep. And you hit once. Okay, solid hit, 10 points. Is that the end of your turn?
Oh yeah.
All right. At this point in time, the monk quickly moves around, gaining advantage. And at this point in time, the monk is going to. He has 2 attacks, which will be his flurry of blows, or sorry, his unarmed strike. And then he's going to use his flurry of blows bonus action to take 2 more, so he gets 4 attacks against you.
He only gets his flurry of blows if he actually hits with one of his first 2 attacks.
No, he just has to spend a key point.
He does.
Okay.
He does spend a key point. We're say spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed attacks. He doesn't say it has to. He has to.
Okay,
hit
that was
first.
my mistake. I misunderstood. I apologize.
But he does hit with 1, so that's fine anyway. So it looks like after all those attacks, only 1 hit, because your AC is 21 or 20.
21.
21. So only 1 of those hits, but that's still a hit. So you take 6 points of damage, and it just slightly dents your metal. And then, no, that'll be it. All right, so that is the end of round 1. And you hear, and so the fight begins. Ragu of the Raging Aiur manages to land a blow. But meanwhile, the monk manages to strike the automata from behind. What'll happen next, folks? Let's find out. All right, Ragu, what are you going to do?
Okay, I am going to sidestep right here, gaining advantage, so we can both attack on the fighter. And I am going to swing hard.
Okay.
I'm going to. There it is.
And you hit.
Six
Okay,
slashing,
6
and
points.
I'm going to burn 1 superiority dice
Okay,
for another 8 points of damage.
good hit.
And he needs to make a DC 15 strength save or be knocked prone.
Which he makes.
Ah,
All right, is that the end of your turn?
that is.
The crowd cheers as you get a solid hit on him. And then he decides to use his advantage and ignore you, attacking the automata with advantage. And so he's going to use his 2-weapon fighting combined with his multi-attack to attack the automata 3 times. And even with advantage, he fails to hit. He underestimated him. And
Way to
then
go, Aiur.
And then he, in his anger, he is going to action surge to get 2 more attacks. And finally hits Aiur for 10 points of damage. So what are you going to do, Aiur? You've just been struck after being attacked 5 times.
That's all
And
you
he just
got?
burned his action surge for it, so you can't expect it again.
Oh yeah, that's all you got, and hit him back twice.
Okay. You hit both times.
Nice.
All right, so that is 7, so 16 damage. A solid blow, really hard hit, and the crowd goes wild. Raging Aiur! Raging Aiur! Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
And then the monk comes behind you, and he's like, well, we'll see if you can withstand my stunning strike. And with a crit, he hits for 13 damage. And you have to make a DC 14 con save.
Okay.
You can do it.
I gain a +3 to this because of one of my traits or class traits here.
Okay.
So, is it his con?
Yep. So if you get +3, it's a DC 11, which you miss. So you are stunned until the end of your next turn. And then, as a bonus action, he spends another key point to get 2 more blows with advantage. But even with advantage, and even with you stunned, he doesn't hit. But what that means, though, is that since you're stunned, I believe opponents get advantage on you, and you cannot do anything. You basically lose your next turn.
Okay.
And it means you can't take any reactions either until the end of your next turn. All right, so we begin round 3, and you hear, and the Dragonborn is getting hit hard. The fighter is standing, but Ragu is beating him down. But meanwhile, the monk has managed to stun the automata. What'll happen next? All right, Ragu, what are you going to do? And because Aiur is stunned, you do no longer get your flank bonus.
Okay, hold on here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just swing hard on the fighter.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. And you hit.
And I'm going to try and... Now, Air's stunned, but he's still standing, or is he prone?
He's still standing. He's just
Okay,
stunned.
in that case, I'm going to add 4 to the damage and grapple this guy.
Well, that's
Grapple
well.
attack.
You attacked, right? So that's your action. Grappling's an action.
Hold on a second.
Okay, now that makes sense. So immediately after you hit a creature with a melee attack, your turn, you expend a superiority die and you grapple. All right, but go ahead and roll your damage though. You've rolled your superiority die, but you haven't rolled your damage yet.
Oh, sorry. 7, 4,
Okay.
11.
Fair enough. Okay, so he is grappled. That makes sense. Is that the end of your turn?
And he is grappled?
He is. Oh wait,
All
no,
right.
I'm sorry. You have still to roll. Don't you?
Yeah.
You can expend. Okay, you still have to go through it. All right, so go roll your athletics versus his strength. He got a 5.
In that case, I think it makes it. What'd you roll on your superiority die?
Come on. Why didn't it click? There we
Yep,
go.
he's grappled.
All right, now since I'm grappling him, if I'm holding him there, can he still swing on Aiur, or is he
Yeah.
stuck and this guy doesn't
unless you move him away, he can still attack.
All right, I have. Okay, I have.
You can
movement
move
left.
up to half your movement if you have somebody grappled.
All right, I'm going to move here, and I'm going to take him right here with me.
Okay.
I know
Now he
Aiur
can't
couldn't
reach
do
Aiur
it.
anymore.
Yeah, and he doesn't get bonus to hit Aiur, hopefully.
Right.
Unless stun does something. Okay, there we go.
Well, stun does, but once that wears off, then he won't anymore.
All right. That's the best I got for right now, Aiur. I hope you come back.
All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right, well, the fighter, having no choice, is going to attack you. And so he is... Okay, so he is going to do his attacks. So, 3 attacks. He does not have advantage, so only 2 of those 27s match. So the first and third hit. So he strikes you twice with his scimitars for 16 points of damage. And I think that's it. Oh, wait. I totally forgot. He has superiority. Well, too late. I didn't say it at the time. That's what he gets for not paying attention. All right, that's the end of his turn. Were you going to say something?
Oh no, I'm okay.
So yeah, go and take your 16.
I was gonna say he gets. Yeah, I got it. I'm deducting it right now. It just
Okay.
hasn't updated yet. But even grappled, he gets all 3 of his attacks. Or because he's not fighting.
Yeah, he's you're allowed to attack.
All right.
Just normal as
Okay.
you're grappled.
Cool.
If you are, there's another thing where you're completely motionless. I forget what it's called, but there are other restrained. Yeah, if you're restrained, then you can't attack. But grappled is
Okay.
just kind of like you holding on to him, but he still can move his arms.
Okay,
and all
gotcha. All right, so yeah, he hasn't tried breaking the grapple.
Not
Okay.
yet. All right, Aiur, the monk just hit you recently. So what are you gonna do? Oh wait, you're stunned. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
you go
say,
through your stunned action. At the end of your turn, the stun wears off, and you now get reactions again. And the monk is then going to attempt to strike you, but no longer has advantage. He is going to attack you twice, and he's going to fail again. And he's going to spend one more key. He's running out of these. He's got one more left after this to do 2 more strikes. And finally, something gets through for 9 points of damage. And the crowd cheers slightly. You hear some booing. And then you hear, Raging Aiur is steamrolling the competition. Can the Dragon's Maw come back from this? All right, Ragu, you still have him grappled. What are you going to do?
All right, I see Aiur's actually moving again. I'm gonna go ahead and have to drop my grapple to beat down.
Okay. So you let him go?
No advantage. Yeah, no advantage though right now.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I let him go and I swing hard.
And you hit.
Whammo. For
Good
11
solid hit
slashing.
for 11 points. Yep. He's
And I'm
hurt, but
gonna,
he's still going.
yeah, I'm hoping. I'm gonna go ahead and hand axe my offhand,
Okay. And you do
which
not
is a
hit.
whiff.
Yep. He dodges.
Uh,
Is that the end of your turn?
that is. Oh, actually, I am going to move 1, 2. I stayed within, so he doesn't get an opportunity attack,
That's right.
and I cannot be flanked. We're good.
Fair enough. All right. So he. Yep. He is going to attack you. And he is actually going to move over. And then he is going to attack with a superiority die, attempting to do a sweeping attack. But we'll see if he can hit. All right. So, actually, you can only get one attack if you're doing one of these, right?
No, you can actually put a superiority die on any attack you
Okay,
want.
so he's
So all you
gonna.
have to do is hit.
Okay, so in that case, he does that on the second one, which hits you. So you take 9 points of damage. He does a sweeping attack. Let me roll his superiority die so we can add that. So sorry, you took 12 points of damage. And
Okay.
then he's going to do a sweeping attack, which hits a second creature within 5 feet, doing 3 points of damage to Aiur. So Aiur, you take 3 points as well.
Alright.
All right, and the crowd actually cheers a little at that, although you can tell the fans of the Dragon's Maw are starting to lose steam. So what do you do, Aiur?
Hold on, I actually just remembered I didn't mark the damage from the hit I took before, but my scroll thing is messed up and I can't see what it was.
Okay, no problem. The stunning strike,
Yeah, that was one.
13.
Alright. Alright, I'll try and hit the, what's he again, the fighter?
Okay. And you hit, just barely, but you hit. And at this point in time, you see him go down to his knees. It's like, and just to hang his head in shame as the guards come and take him away. And then the
Nice.
crowd erupts as he falls. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
And then the monk, he just like he yells, and then attempts to attack you. He's going to use his last key point to do all 4 attacks. And he hits with 2 of them. So you take a total of 17 points of damage from all the attacks. And we get to the end of the round, and you hear, and one of them has fallen. Is this the end, ladies and gentlemen? But wait, the automata is also near. The automata is also almost defeated. Let's see what happens. All right, Ragu. Aiur is low on hit points, and the monk is still at full. What are you going to do?
I'm going to run right over here and engage.
Okay.
Okay, advantage. Swinging hard.
And you hit.
I do 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Add 1d8 to that for knocking his butt prone.
And a strength save, right?
DC 15, please. Yes.
All right. And he fails, so he is now prone.
And I take the advantage of that, now that he's on his back, to swing down with my offhand.
All right. And you hit.
6 slashing.
Yep. Solid 6 points. He's hurting. Is that the end of your turn?
That is.
The crowd cheers as he lands on the ground. Aiur, your opponent is on the ground. What are you going to do?
Alright, I'll lay into him. with the flail.
And you hit both times for 12 points. And the crowd goes nuts. And then the monk spends half his movement to get up. And then at this point in time, he is going to attempt to finish off the automata, but he is out of key points, so he is just going to strike and fail. And the crowd boos. And yeah, you hear, "It is not looking good, folks. The monk has been badly hurt, knocked to the ground, knocked around like a toy. What'll happen next?" All right, Ragu.
Char is circling the arena, screeching at the top of his lungs. Red smoke streamers are going everywhere. He looks awesome. I reel up and swing hard on this monk.
Okay. And you hit. Just barely. Yeah, no, you hit.
All right. That's 8.
Another 8.
And I'm going to use my last superiority die to knock him prone again.
Okay.
So that's
another
one more point and DC 15 strength check.
All right. Will he make it? No, he is now prone again.
Use my hand axe to crunch down on him hard.
All right, the crowd goes nuts as you crunch into him again. Can you take him out? You almost do. He is just at that threshold, but he is still allowed to continue. Is at the end of your turn.
It is not. Char comes swooping down low, like this direction, into the arena, putting, smoke everywhere and everything, and I action surge to swing again.
All right, go for it. You hit. And you knock him out. You smash into him, and the guards come running and grab him. And then the crowd goes wild, and you hear, "And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The expert rank champions are the Raging Aiur." And you hear the crowds going nuts. And they will win 500 silvers and a invitation to the Valen Star celebration of Gatrak. And then the crowd goes crazy and you see magical fireworks erupting into the air, the colors mixing with the smoke and lighting up the whole arena. And then eventually everybody calms down and you get escorted down to await the celebration at the end.
Now, quick thing, while the fight had been going on, I'd been scrutinizing the guy really carefully. I'm making sure to basically memorize everything on him I can see. Clothes, objects, jewelry, just trying to familiarize myself as much with all of his possessions.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
go ahead.
and then one last thing, I'm going to, especially in all the commotion from the victory with everybody distracted, I'm going to go ahead and kind of do a distinctive sort of X-shape. Well, maybe not X-shape. Let's go with a Y-shaped gray streaky pattern in his hair.
Okay.
More on the top of his head specifically.
Fair enough. He seems to be ignoring you, or at least paying attention to what else is going on. Yeah, obviously you're looking and you're memorizing. Obviously you don't know, specifically what's in his pockets or pants, etc. But as far as on the surface layer, you get a good look.
Yeah, that's all I needed. Just anything I could see.
Okay. All right. So at that point in time, the novice and and master championships proceed as normal, despite the issues with the bronze match. And then as everything finishes, immediately at the end, they ask all the fighters to come back into the arena. And so I'm going to go ahead and move you guys back up. And I have, unfortunately, been deleting guys, so I don't actually have all the tokens anymore. I'm just going to move some out there to represent things. So all the fighters start piling out into the arena, and with the notable exception of the notable exception of the Ratau team. There, it looks like their entire team was disqualified, and you're not sure if the other guy had anything to do with anything. In fact, he probably didn't. But nevertheless, they don't seem to be taking any chances. Anyway, so they bring everybody out, and they have a big celebration, a big awards ceremony, and it lasts for a full 60 minutes as they go through, bring each group up that won a prize uh, up, and then they give a speech about the amazing fights they had, and each team in turn that won a prize also gives a speech. So when it comes time for the Raging Aiur to show up in the middle of the middle of the arena where the mage is, that's magnifying their voice, what is it that you two say?
GG.
This is our expected speech, man. You can you can do better. Come on, say something. Kind of nudging higher.
You can hear a pin drop as the crowd just waits.
Say something, guys.
Um,
I'll
I would
start a
like to
speech chant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Speech.
Oh, okay. Nobody's talking yet. All right. I would like to thank the pattern guilds and I list all the guilds and the Nexus Guild also for this great and wonderful opportunity we are having. And it is wonderful that we can be doing such fancy things like this, and not just having our tournament, but exploring new worlds and learning everything and to be. And I'm trying to make this a political speech about how it's good to explore Lumev.
Go ahead.
And
Yeah.
Did you say that part too?
yeah. Well, no, I was trying to get that message to the DM, not that the crowd would hear.
What you can do is you can make a performance check to see how well you get your message across.
All right, nudging Aiur, you gonna help me with this?
Aiur
gonna
has to actually
offer-
say something that will actually strengthen your case. And if he says something that instead makes it a worse case, you can get disadvantage. So, do you want Aiur's help?
Oh.
I would like your help if you can. Think of something. If you
All right,
just
Aiur.
stay silent, then I'll roll normal.
So, Aiur, how do you help? What do you say?
Well, you could talk about, being welcomed into this new home of yours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
because
like
you
to.
are from Lumev. You're like a Lumev ambassador.
exactly.
That's true. Yeah, I'd just like to take this time to thank everybody who came here for supporting our team and sticking through us and from
You're from Lumev.
from Lumev from a Lumev native. Thank you all for accepting me into your culture.
Okay, the crowd cheers, and you get advantage, Ragu.
All right. Advantage. This still is not going to be pretty.
Oh, I'm
Performance, you said?
Yes. It is a speech.
You lucked out.
Oh my!
And the crowd cheers, and you hear Lumev, Lumev, Lumev.
This ought to help with some of those riots against exploring Lumev.
All right. So as that's going on, you get handed a sack with 500 silvers, and in addition, you get handed they start to hand you a scroll, but then a one of the mages runs up and whispers something, and they change scrolls, and then he says, "I have just been informed that this team gets a special invitation to the Valenstar celebration." And then he hands you the scroll, Ragu. And I am going to share it. I'll just go ahead and share it with everybody with the assumption that you'll show everybody. So
Oh
you
yes.
should now see it on the screen. You can hit the hourglass, sorry, the magnifying glass to get a bigger view. And shortly you'll see why it's special.
Oh. Hmm.
I actually, since I have the foreign background and I have that accent, I just love the fact that they misspelled my name.
I was noticing that.
That's awesome.
Huh.
It could sound like that. My name is Rastili Brubad. What was that, Rajiri?
Who is Peak of the Keystone?
Pico.
That's me.
That's
Oh
Pico.
my.
Yeah, that's
That's his
actually my
full
name.
name.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
But what the
I'm
hell's with
surprised,
the Oreo
Oreo.
with?
You got
Yeah, I don't know how the hell that came up like that. I don't know.
well. You've got Seeker of Orioles.
Well,
Maybe you
You
didn't want them to know your real name.
you
I
do
forget.
know that a certain somebody is basically doing security at the location.
Ah,
Uh,
you're getting
right.
ahead. You're getting
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
That's awesome.
so yeah, the rest of the celebration or the ceremony continues as everybody else gets their prizes. There's more cheering, and then eventually, um, it all ends, and people start to leave the arena, and so it is now. Hold on. It
Oh, and I refreshed the prestidigitation as the guy's about to leave, because I didn't realize things were going to take that long.
okay. Um, it is now. It's now 5 o'clock in the evening. And you've been here. Some of you have been here since 9 in the morning, so it's been a very long day. And everybody else is leaving. So what are you gonna do?
I guess I'm going to go run over and collect up Oreo, Devok, and Galen. And, all right, I think I've got two plans for doing tracking. We need to get back to Ragu and see we'll get things straightened out with the guards as quick as possible.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of time.
Yep.
Especially we have to go all the way across town for this thing.
Right.
I,
Oops.
I'm under the impression I'm just gonna keep going because I'm not moving my icon. So if we're already moving, just consider me with you guys.
Okay, I'll just move you then.
Okay, so
And we meet back up with them soon enough, or do we get shuffled off because we're part of the
You
wolves?
kind of get shuffled down and then taken back up the stairs, and then you wind up in the same place.
Okay.
You've given your invitation. You got your invitation. You got your prize money. So make sure to add your 500 silvers. Somebody
Okay.
add it. You got it as a team. It's up to you two how to split it.
You just want to do
50-50?
100 Joe?
yeah.
Not
I don't know what
50-50.
that means. I'm guessing it's 50-50. That's 250 silvers each, or 2 platinum and 5 gold each.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the lieutenant is there, and once you show up as a group, she kind of takes you back downstairs, just so that she takes you into that equipment room and closes the door, and then she says, "So we have captured the we've captured the guard. We have captured the prisoner, and they will be questioned. Your guild should contact you if we find anything useful. that you can use in your investigation. However,
Now that we have Oreo here, perhaps the guard should at least be taking a look at the note and medallion which tipped us off to this
Uh,
as evidence.
don't. I mean, we already gave them the a view of the letter that was the whole murder plot situation, which is
Oh,
why
okay.
we.
Well, if they've already seen it, I didn't realize they'd seen it already. I thought
Yeah,
maybe we
Yeah,
these
were just
specific
going
ones,
on our
we
word.
did it on day 2 with the other guards, and that's how they
Okay.
knew to expect us.
Okay.
right.
Never mind. Sorry, I missed that part.
but anyway,
I
she's
was busy fighting.
yeah, no problem. Anyway, she says, but the important part is regardless of whether this helps you in the larger picture, is that you've helped prevent a murder. And for that, I wish to reward you. And I've been authorized to gift you for 1,000 silver for your services. Now, I don't know who is responsible for what on your team, so she hands the money to Pico and she says, I will trust you to distribute it in a fair manner. And so your guilds will contact you if there's any further information. And I, for one, know that there are still some in this city that I can trust not to be completely corrupt. So thank you for that. Unfortunately, it also means that I know that there are some among the guards who are not looking out for the welfare of the city, which makes me very sad. Or is there anything you would like to say or any questions before I let you get about your business?
Um,
Uh, Go ahead.
I didn't have a whole lot of time to really pay attention to that other conspirator, but just out of curiosity, did he look like, and I'll do a minor illusion of the first guard, the last minute replacement?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, that's good.
Actually, just one quick question since you guys might be familiar with the shop. Do you guys know anyone in particular out of a certain shop called the Blackstone Blade?
Oh, it's a popular shop amongst a lot of a lot of the city guard. I have actually been there before. They actually make quality weapons.
Right, but any names of anyone in particular or the person that runs the shop or anybody that you guys are in good ties with? It's just we're kind of maybe curious to swing by maybe at some point before our next adventures and that we've been hearing a lot about it.
Well, it is run by a surly dwarf, although he'll of course welcome new shoppers, but he might get a little testy with questioning. But anyway, I will give you his name. It is Gamillo.
Hey. All right, well, thank you. That's very appreciative. And I think with that, I look at the party. We should probably get going. We don't have a lot of time, right?
Yes. Thank you very much, and we will hopefully be working well and well met in the future.
Indeed. I thank you for today. All right, so what do you guys do now?
Um,
Get somewhere quiet, if maybe in this
Yeah.
area.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and take you back to the city map for now. You can see where the wagon is. That's where you guys are in the city. So you're looking for a quiet area to talk, like an alley or something.
Yeah, in the same area of the festival that we're currently at, just
Okay.
so that I can. And do we have like an actual map of this in our person that we can that we've been storing all of these little flags in, so to speak?
I'm assuming somebody does, probably Ire.
Okay. So I asked Ira to pull that map out, and I let you guys know that the letter with the blade and shield icon on it, which would be the one with that has the Let me check the. I think it was the. Is it the murder plot? No, the cultist letter. That has that icon on it. That shop that's been mentioned there is called the Blade. Blackstone Blade, and it sits in the district 21.5 accordingly, but I'm pinging it on the map. Tell me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, in terms of
21.5 is this one. That
20
one's
point. Okay, sorry.
21.2.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so sorry, that's why I wasn't super sure about the 5, but that's where that's at. And then the medallion that I guess it was the same cultist dropped when we got these letters is referring to a guild called the Metal Forges Guild, and it's found in the Guild Hall district of 19. That actually, if that icon that of where we're at is accurate, that means that's the closest thing to us right now. Pinging that one up there. And just for transparency here, let me scroll up a bit.
Yeah, and I apparently forgot to put numbers by the 19s, so it's actually this one here. Sorry about that.
Oh, so they're both okay. Okay, so then correction.
I'll have to fix that. Yeah, sorry about that.
But for everyone's purposes, these are the things that I got shared.
Oh, and while you guys are talking, Galen and Aiur, if you wanted to share your letter from Krager, I can do that.
Yeah. Oh, I also had a question about that. When is the last day of the festival?
Today.
Today. It's just
Today,
Okay.
yeah.
So tomorrow, because I wanted to talk to Galen about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we should go tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to show everybody, or are you just going to keep it amongst yourselves?
I mean, you don't have to show anybody. We
Yeah.
have
Okay.
a meeting with somebody at the church tomorrow, midday.
Now, for everybody can mark 167 silver pieces. That's splitting up the reward.
Okay.
Then I'm taking 165.
You said 176, right?
No, 167.
Oh, okay.
And that's in silver.
You could conceivably turn it into a larger denomination. But yeah, that's silver by default. It'd be one plat, 6 gold, 7 silver if you want to do it that way.
I'll keep it in. Yeah, why not? 1 plat, 6 gold, 7 silver.
So we've got a couple of things to consider here, I guess. The cultist letter said that they wanted to meet the day after the celebration or the festival. So we need to be there now to just scope it out. Was that the intention of having that up front?
Sorry, say that again?
Why do we need the information up front if they're meeting up tomorrow? In the cultist letter, they're saying that they want to meet the day after the festival.
Was it the day after? Well, wait. Oh, it said this coming Barisha Day or the Suma Day after the festival. Well, the festival is ending on Suma Day. So they're either meeting right after the festival, unless they meet a week later. Sounds weird.
So the idea is to march there now then?
Right, because they'd basically still be trying to do stuff. I mean, originally their plan would have been to continue their next phase, but I think now they have to figure out how to regroup from this setback.
So considering how far it is and we don't know exactly when, at what time they're meeting, should we start moving now?
Probably. Now, Ragu, I marked the suspicious spectator in the stands with this kind of Y shape on his hair. If you could have Char look for something like that and follow, that'd be really helpful.
All right, I have that happen.
Okay, Char actually flies up and starts looking around. Go ahead and make his perception check.
Okay.
Okay, so Char flies around, and
That is a 23. He gets advantage on all
Yeah,
perception checks.
I got it. So he flies around, and he should absolutely see that person if he exists, but he doesn't. Meaning, this isn't because you rolled too low. It's he's looking around, and as far as he can tell, the person doesn't exist.
All right.
I'm
Well,
sorry, I'm finding nothing.
I have a backup plan for that. But I guess now one thing I'm curious about is why were there two potential locations to go to? Because I thought we were just trying to find the shop where they were conspiring.
The cultist who dropped the letter had a big medallion on him. That got
Oh,
dropped
that's
when
right. Yeah.
that happened. So I tried to figure out what's the deal with the guild symbol. That's where that comes from.
All right. Given the two choices, going to the shop seems to make more sense because that's going to be the more immediate thing.
Oh no, I completely agree. The only idea of me having the guild information is if there's any uh, camaraderie between these groups that we have no idea how they're connected, then the guild group might be another point of interest.
Yeah, that definitely sounds useful, and that was a good call on trying to find that. Um,
Okay, so the question then is, do you want to go to that shop now, or next session? Because it's 11 o'clock now.
I was under the impression there would be we're heading there now and we would continue it on the next session, but
I
Okay,
agree.
so what I will do then is I will go ahead and just put you on the map so you can kind of get a quick sneak peek, I guess, and then we will continue next session. So what you'll wind up seeing is a shop. You can see one of the windows is open. You can see some light spilling out, and you can see that there's some sort of alley to the side of the shop. And that's where we will continue next time. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and set up your experience points. And we'll go from there. All right, 2240. All right, so Oreo, I don't think you failed anything. Pico, I don't think you failed anything.
I think it was all Ragu and Aiur. I mean, I think Cinderbone's
Yeah.
failing a fair number of combat rolls.
Yeah, so both of you
Yeah.
probably failed twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so, oh, wrong. Sorry, let me correct one thing. We're not that far yet. All right, so here's your experience points. So for session 30, you got 1,120 from encounters and 1,120 from exploration, and that includes basically figuring out clues, figuring out things as you go. And then Ragu and Aiur get 280 learning by failure experience points.
Woohoo.